Make a slap trip. I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Nigga, we ain't playing around. Karate chop, nigga, that's gon' lay him down. I got it from my sensei. A Ku Klux, so I bought me 10Ks. My shooter got me, I made sure his rent paid. A grimy nigga, but he don't wear 10K. He wears a Vinci, he don't even fit J's. A sharpshooter, you should see him switchblade. I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Add me on Twitter, that's gonna get you in the jam. Stop playing with that man. 223 shells and knock a nigga out his frame. Stop playing with that man. Ever been indicted, I ain't see you in that jam. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Niggas acting like fans. Some shit I never understand. Is you gangster or not? That's for Instagram, you don't hang on the block. This a hunt Diddy, I don't hang with no stocks. You a brand lover, bitch, you bang with the ops. You like felons, cause I came with a lot. A tough cookie put his brains in a knot. How much I pay for these chains, it's a lot. Stop talking money if you really don't got it. I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man. Nigga already know what the deal is, nigga. Yeah, I should already know by now. Don't play with him. We're not the ones to play with. What is money? Don't make us throw it up in the air and walk away. Put a price on your head on a sticky pad. Stop playing. Stop playing with that man.
We yapping these still. You getting cooked in front of your family like a Japanese meal. It's just shoot the hibachi and none of you niggas can stop me. Man, oh man, oh man. Check this out, y'all. Can y'all hear me, man? Let me get a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. I want to make sure that my mic is still working. Now we're going to have to get another one. Listen. Science is going to be the end. Mark my words. Empirical science is going to be the end of BHI, Black Hebrew Israelite ideology. All that going out in the streets, yelling at white folks, claiming white folks are going to go into slavery, that they're going to die simply by virtue of being white, is going down the toilet. The 12 tribes chart is going down the toilet. You people that claim that all Negroes are Israelites, all of your ideology is being flushed down the toilet. It's being destroyed. It's wearing away. It's being corroded and eroded by DNA science. The DNA is not bearing out the narratives that you guys push. And the irony dealing with this brother, Guerilla Hebrew in SICARRI camp, is that he took a DNA test and he found out that he himself is from haplogroup R, right? His paternal line is haplogroup R, R1BM269. And we're going to talk about that mutation today and what does that imply? Because the brother did a live very in the wee hours of the morning, I should say, trying to dismiss DNA and trying to dismiss the chromosomes that flow in his body. The BHI are delusional. The BHI are intellectually bankrupt. The BHI will tell you to not trust the genes in your body. The BHI will tell you to not rely on your Y chromosome to elucidate ancestry, but they want you to believe that everything that they say is 100% accurate. That's why you lost that debate, man. Garfield cooked you, bro. And I'm not going to hold no punches. He cooked you on the basis of you support a chart that is irreconcilable when we examine the Y chromosomes of the people on the chart. For instance, Native Americans, that's usually haplogroup Q. You have blacks there. Blacks are a mixture of Europeans and Africans, which could be ABR, ABRI, or any other European haplogroup. These are blends of people. These letters that you see in your haplogroup denote a separate, distinct lineage, meaning they descend from a separate, distinct group of males that lived in times past. End of discussion. And you share common paternal ancestry with everyone that has those same genetic signatures on their Y chromosomes. How do we know this? Because the only way to inherit a Y chromosome is through the act of sex, through reproduction. So you spend majority of your time and energy condemning people that you call white Americans, white folks, and telling them that they're going to go into slavery. Hey, don't do that, Garfield. You are not haplogroup R, bro. You yap. This brother trying to save. There ain't no saving this brother, man. This brother spend majority of his time telling white Americans that they're going to go into captivity by virtue of their white skin. Meanwhile, he's related to majority of white Americans paternally. The irony, right? So we're going to break down some things, man. We're going to go over some science today. And I'm telling you, DNA science is the end of Black Hebrew Israelites. All right. All right. Hey, Avery, everybody check your emails. I'm going to let y'all in first before everybody else come on and let y'all give y'all input and build. So I want y'all to check y'all emails here in a second. But we got to discuss this thing, man. You spend majority of your career, and you can't bullshit me. I used to be a part of IUIC, the Purple Bandits. I know exactly what Black Hebrew Israelites teach, right? I was a part of that cult at one time. I used to teach that dumbass 12 tribes chart, right? So y'all can't, you can't pull the fast ones on me. I know your little tricks, and I know your little games. Native Indians have nothing to do with Western and Central Africans. Native Indians have their own genetic signatures that developed in America thousands and thousands of years ago, right? Many of the Latino brothers that y'all claim descent from Jacob as well, a lot of those guys are European genetically, right? So now you're in a quagmire. right? If we're going to be good scientists, if we're going to be scientifically minded, we need to drop bad doctrine. So if you have a hypothesis, if majority of your evidence is condemning your hypothesis, you're supposed to do away with that hypothesis. But did Guerilla Hebrew do that? No, he went on there and tried to reinforce his ideology, man. He tried to reinforce his dogma, man. And that's not forward thinking. And this is why I say the Black Hebrew Israelite community is one of the worst communities that exist in the Black American community. It's one of the worst. Majority of people claiming to be Black Hebrew Israelites don't like to read, they're illiterate, and they hate science. And they hate math. That's a bad combination. You take a DNA test, they determine that you're haplogroup R, and you're denying your genes. You're denying your ancestors. You're denying your father. And you may mention that your grandfather was a freed man. He was a free man, right? Now, we know a lot of the slave masters, they would manumit their children, right? They would manumit their children. So that might be an indicator that your great-grandfather was a son of a European slave master. That's what the DNA is, unveiling. So check this out. I'm gonna bring my guys on. We're gonna go over a couple articles. What we're gonna do today is educate the people. Black Hebrew Israelites love to indoctrinate people. But what we try to do on this channel is to actually educate, provide resources, cite our sources, and give you guys the information. And show you how to utilize the information. Right? I don't give a damn about what Arias said 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I don't give a damn about Tahar. I don't care about Elder Nathaniel. All those guys are intellectually bankrupt. And they rely on their dogma. All right? So give me a minute. I'm going to send these emails out because I don't want the general populace to jump on this. I want to deal with Yap Gang first, then I'll allow anybody to come on. And we're going to cover a couple topics. We're going to deal with M269. What does that originate? Because the brother's confused. He made a statement last night that how is haplogroup R European, found in European populations and found in African populations. Guerilla Hebrew. It's called migration. It's called migration. M269 originated in Europe, or originated by European ancestors, right? And it migrated and found its way into other localities like Africa, right? It's migration. Many of us are in America. We don't originate in America. I don't care what the abos tell you. And to make this the whole thing worse for you, Guerilla Hebrew, is not only we can show you modern samples of this, we have ancient samples of people in Poland with the M269 mutation marker that you have. So we can trace your family and show that they come from Europe. Right? Y'all going to stop running from DNA. And I'm telling you, DNA science is going to be the death of the Black Hebrew Israelite community. Right? And I'm going to rejoice. Because we sick of you guys, man. I'm sick of you guys pulling the wool over our eyes. I'm sick of you guys pushing illiteracy on our people. I'm sick of your dogma, right? I'm sick of all of it. I said this a while ago. How about you use your camps to teach our people math and science, something that can advance us? But you out here spitting on white people, punching white people. And the irony behind this, Guerilla Hebrew, you share common paternal ancestry with Western Europeans. Them your kinfolk. That's your family, man. That's your family. Let me compose this, man. Let me get these people on here real quick. Let me get my family on here. Ivry, disperse the email as well. I want everybody on here at the onset of this. Sister Shari, send this link out to everybody else that needs it. That way I can keep the show going. All right, you guys check your emails. You do have the link. And also, if you guys, yeah, and then they tried to bring up King. This shows you this brother doesn't know what he's talking about. This shows you that this brother don't know what he's talking about. He said he brought up King Tut and said he had haplogroup E. King Tut, hey, don't time out Garfield. Don't time out Garfield, y'all. Don't time out Garfield. Time out Tamika. No, I'm messing around. Don't time out Garfield, but you can time out Tamika if you want to. All right, we got Yap Gang in the building. We yapping these still serving these hibachi Japanese meals. Let's go. Ivry, what's cracking?
Shalom, shalom. Can't wait to
Shalom.
get into this video. Are we going to watch it or just talk about it?
We gonna talk about it first, then we might get into the clips, or we might save the whole clip for tomorrow. Right?
Okay.
This is, this is a Japanese meal. We're gonna take our time with this.
All right.
And we got Shawn Michaels. Hey, what Shawn we getting tonight, man? We getting Shawn Michaels or Sean Hannity, bro? Is you chin checking motherfuckers tonight, or are you gonna give us a breakdown, brother?
We checking George tonight. Shalom.
Hey,
yeah.
Yeah. We got our sister Shari in the building. The dean in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Initial thoughts on Guerilla Hebrew, the leader of SICARRI, being revealed to have R1B. Anybody want to talk about that and give opinions and thoughts about him possessing that Y chromosomal clade?
Does this make him an Edomite? I wonder.
Great question. Since you share the same paternal ancestry as many of white Americans do and Western Europeans do, and you guys designate them as Edomites, according to you guys, to your doctrine and ideology, does that mean you yourself are an Edomite since you descend from the same male ancestors? This is the idiocy of Black Hebrew Israelite cults. Hey, Ahaya be praised said this could be the end of SICARRI. I'm saying it's the end of Black Hebrew Israelites, right? And y'all stop being afraid. I want to see Brother James in the building. James, the argument king. What's going on? Swinging and banging from the land of Canaan. Go.
Already, man. You already know what it is. Yap Gang in the building, man. I'm ready to get on this video, man.
Oh, y'all want to do the video? I was gonna bring out some articles.
Hey, go ahead and do what you do.
Yeah, you can do that first.
Your flow. I'm just saying, I'm ready.
The brother did make some outlandish claims. He said DNA does not show you who your ancestors are in a nutshell. And here's the thing, Guerilla Hebrew, you are mixing up autosomal DNA with Y chromosome DNA. Ivry, you want to break that down for the audience for a minute?
Yeah, so I noticed in the video he was like, "Oh, DNA only takes you back to the 17th century," and that's only because he was looking at the timeline chart for 23andMe. But yeah, that's autosomal DNA, so it's only going to go back so far. But it's funny because he said DNA wouldn't show you or take you back to antiquity, and it's like if you use haplogroups, it would, because haplogroups will take you all the way back to the founder of your haplogroup. So, and that would be thousands of years ago, not even a couple of hundred years ago. So yeah, from that I could tell that he either didn't read enough papers on haplogroups, or he either did read papers and he just chose not to tell the truth. That's one of the things that I kind of got from this video, and it kind of reminds me of Teo as well, that either they know the information and read it and they're just refusing to speak the truth about it, or they didn't read the information, which still is bad, because that kind of just shows laziness.
Yeah. A lot of you guys are fumbling and stumbling over DNA, man. and misrepresenting DNA. Especially these guys, when they find out that they got that white European DNA and ancestors, they don't want to own up to it because they spent majority of their career, their Israelite career, telling white people they're going into slavery, telling white people that they're condemned by virtue of them being white, telling white people that their children are going to be destroyed, that even the children of the oppressors prepare slaughter for the children of the oppressors. They've been saying all these outlandish things. And, I just think it's justice that you found out that you are actually a Western European, your goddamn self, by descent, right? And see, a lot of you guys, I heard Dr. Reggie say this, ethnicity trumps DNA. No, it does not. Ethnicity is a social construct. It's a confabulation. That does not change the genes in your body. Does not change your ancestral lineage. Somebody said, look at this whack stuff, man. Whack job, man. Rob the whack job. Right? He got his pistol out, man. Look, he says, Genesis 49 is why you want to crush a movement that's uniting black folk. Actually, that movement is uniting Western European descendants, Native indigenous people that have East Asian ancestry, Hispanics with Western European, Iberian Peninsula DNA and ancestry. So actually, their movement is not just for black people. Obviously, the leader himself is of Western European descent. And this is not from a place of hate. This is a place of education.
Yeah, because he's uniting the house of Japheth, it seemed like, because everybody he's bringing together are of original European descent, calling out from them F lineages.
Is it safe to say that SICARRI is really just another branch of British Israelism now?
Dang.
Hey, he qualifies, and this, like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with anybody being R, I, anything, but I just think it's hypocritical for you to have some of those extreme racist stances that you have while being a descendant of those people that you claim to hate. So.
Can I read this definition real quick?
Go ahead.
It's from the Genetics Glossary of isogg.org, and it goes, a haplogroup, a genetic population group of people who share a common ancestor on the patriline or the matriline. Top-level haplogroups are assigned letters of the alphabet, and deeper refinements consist of additional number and letter combinations. For Y-DNA, a haplogroup may be shown in a long-form nomenclature established by the Y chromosome consortium, or it may be expressed in a short form using the deepest known single nucleotide polymorphism, a SNP. Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA haplogroups have different haplogroup designations. Haplogroups can reveal deep ancestral origins dating back thousands of years, or with recent full sequence Y-DNA testing may be relevant to the last few generations.
So what you just read pretty much disproves his entire video that he did last night.
A simple Google search.
Simple Google search, yeah. Haplogroups as a group of individuals that share a common ancestor, and it goes back to the first male that had that mutation. That's how we know where you descend from. Like, there's no question to it. Abu says, to Ivri's question about British Israelism, I'm not trying to be funny, nor a jab at Al-Azhar, but he, i.e. Guerilla Hebrew, actually affirms the claim that British means covenant man in Hebrew.
My goodness.
Now, when I was a part of IUIC, I learned, I taught that, and I was taught that, right? So he's correct. They do teach that British, the ish means man, and Brit, it's Berit, which means covenant. So in a way, I guess he was always a British Israelite. I'm sorry, man. Abu, you ain't right, man.
Well, he's definitely more related to King James than we are, so All
right, let me share this real quick, man. I want y'all to chime in and educate the people, because again, there's a lot of indoctrination going on with these BHIs, right? And we want to eliminate that, and you wrote that. So this is UCL.ac.uk. right? And it says understanding genetic ancestry testing. Genetic ancestry testing is the use of DNA information to make inferences about someone's deep ancestry. Hundreds of thousands of years into the past, genetic genealogy, on the other hand, combines DNA testing with genealogical and historical records and typically makes use of large databases to identify matches or direct comparisons to test for expected matches. There is some overlap between the two, but genetic genealogy is generally more reliable because of its use of additional information. The information about your ancestry available from DNA alone is limited, as we tried to explain here. So it gives you the three main types of genetic ancestry, right? The Y DNA test, we're going to deal with that. Y chromosome DNA test provides information about your male line ancestry only. So when Guerilla Hebrew took his test and his test came back RM269, that's giving him his male line. So which begs the question, if you're RM269 and I'm haplogroup EU290, how are we both Israelites or lineal descendants of a guy named Jacob? One of us have to be eliminated from the equation. Both of us can't be Israelites, right? Both of us can't make that claim paternally of going back to a man named Jacob if he existed, because a man named Jacob would have a Y chromosome, correct? The Zap, I'm going to send you the link here in a minute because I want you to share the information on his genealogy real quick. Just give me a minute. Break this down. If you're saying, because the 12 tribes chart purports that a man named Jacob lived and he had 12 sons. If that man lived and had 12 sons, they will all have his Y chromosome, correct? So how do you have Native Indians on the chart and their haplogroup Q? And you got Hispanics on the chart when they have a plethora of haplogroups. And again, a haplogroup is a group of individuals that share a common ancestor. And when we're dealing with the Y DNA, we're dealing with the male line ancestry only.
You might want to pull up a chart that might actually show that. Or I can while you read this.
Yeah. Pull that up for me. Let me continue reading this because I want to educate the audience. Y chromosome DNA test provides information about your male line ancestry only, which in most cultures corresponds with the inheritance of surnames. Only males carry a Y chromosome, but a female can learn about her father line, for example, through her father or brother. Among the tests currently available, there is much variety in the amount of information provided. The markers tested are of two types, STRs and SNPs. These markers have different mutation rates and so give information at different time depths. That information you receive depends on how many markers of each type are tested. SNP testing is used for deep ancestry purposes to provide information about your haplogroup, which tells you which branch of the Y DNA tree you belong to. So when you see that letter R on your result, that's telling you what part of the branch. And that part of the branch is a group of men that branched off, right? And became their own distinct line. This is called monophyly, right? One line. This is how we're able to trace your ancestry. You belong to the R branch. And the R branch is a separate lineage, right? And the mutation that you have, M269, is specifically your Western European. We're going to get into that, right? It says YSTR tests are used for genetic genealogy purposes within surname projects to test hypotheses about patrilineal relationships and to investigate questions about surname origins. So if you guys want to claim a 12 tribes chart and claim Jacob existed, you have to examine your members' Y DNA and say, okay, if we're all from Jacob, we should share the same branch. We should at least share the same branch. And you got a chart full of a plethora of different haplogroups and peoples.
I have
right?
the chart.
All right, share your screen.
All right.
Shout out to Zaya. Zaya took his DNA test, found out he was
What's his marker? It's EM 5442 or something like that.
I know it's a downstream of U175.
Right. But so this is what Yeshua is talking about when it comes to Y DNA. So it's passed down from your father to son. So you have, the father right here and then the son right here. And the reason why you can't have like you can't produce a kid that one son is going to be haplogroup J and another son is going to be haplogroup G or something. You're only going to carry one Y DNA chromosome. So this is, let's say this is E1B1A. It's going to be passed down from father to son, a straight line of E1B1A men. And when it comes to, let's say, Shem or even just Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's only going to carry one haplogroup. And of course, we believe that's E. So Abraham's descendants are going to have E markers. There's no way he's going to be like E, Q, R, etc., etc. You know, that's just the way Y DNA haplogroups work because it's a sex determining chromosome. And then there's other charts that show, you know, autosomal and mitochondrial, but we might get into that later. But anyways.
Yeah, so that male line will go all the way to the first man that had the M269 marker in his genome. That's how we know you're from a separate line. D-Red, I will send you the link. Chill out real quick. Hold on. Then the mixture of all ancestors, your autosomal DNA. This is your admixture DNA, right? It doesn't really tell you who you directly descend from. Right? Because some people are confused. Like, how do I have a European paternal marker or maternal marker and I have African admixture or another people group's admixture? Is because that's what autosomal DNA shows, admixture. So if you look at the male side and you follow the male side, what do you have? You have maternal ancestors on your male side. That won't show up on your Y DNA because you don't directly descend from them, but they carry autosomes that your people pick up as well. So that could have been a Native American. So a lot of people are finding out that they have Native American ancestry in their autosomal profile. It's because somebody along one of your lines interbreeded with them, right? Same thing with these people that have European paternal markers, but have a lot of African autosomal DNA. That means that your forefather kept your forefathers' progeny kept interbreeding with quote unquote Africans. That's what that's telling you.
Well, yeah, like your forefather was a slave master's descendant, but instead of running off with white folks, they threw him down there with the black folks. So they kept intermixing with black folks of all these generations. So they're going to have tons of African autosomal DNA, but their direct lineage still goes back to that white slave master.
Exactly. So everyone's running the autosomal DNA. Autosomal DNA will show you all the people in between, not who you directly come from, right? So you see your maternal side, you have a maternal grandfather, right? That's not going to show up directly on your it has nothing to do with your sex chromosomes, right? But your mitochondrial DNA shows you your mother's mother, all the way back into times immemorial, right? So that's how DNA tests are utilized. Don't let these Black Hebrew Israelites and Afrocentric fanatics trick you. Your Y DNA tells you who your direct paternal ancestry goes back to, and your maternal DNA tells you what your direct maternal ancestry goes back to. Either you want to add. Oh, go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say, so like in numbers, when they tell you to call yourself by the pedigree of your father's house, that's the exact same thing by saying, as modern day saying, yell out your Y chromosome.
Exactly. Y'all say, oh, it's of the father, it's of the father. Okay, so what does your Y chromosome DNA say? Your Y chromosome DNA traces back to Western Europe, right? Oh, you got R markers in Africa. Yeah, it's called migration. Those people migrate. You had R markers migrating to Africa. That doesn't change the fact that you have M269 that goes back into Europe. Anybody want to chime in on that?
I actually could pull up another chart that can explain, why he's quote unquote black autosomally but has haplogroup R. Give me a quick second so I can pull that up.
Yeah, all right. I'll let you do that. Then I'll continue reading what I had up until then. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat after we get through some of this, right? Because I know how these shows are. All right. So again, SNP testing is used for deep ancestry purposes to provide information about your haplogroup, which tells you which branch of the Y DNA tree you belong to. Again, you have to use the sex chromosomes, the Y DNA and mtDNA, to go into deep ancestry. Autosomal DNA can't go past what 300 years, 300, 500 max, right? So it says YSTR tests are used for genetic genealogy purposes within surname projects to test hypotheses about patrilineal relationships and investigate questions about surname origins. These tests also provide very limited information about your deep ancestry by giving you a predicted haplogroup assignment. If two people have the same, here's the important part. I hope y'all listening. If two people have the same Y-DNA haplogroup, it means that they will usually share a common patrilineal ancestor. So SICARRI having haplogroup RM269, everybody else on the earth that has that mutation, they share a common patrilineal ancestor. So majority of those white people that they yell at on the street most likely share a paternal common patrilineal ancestor with them. Those people that you condemn to slavery, talking about some kiss my boot, they share a common patrilineal ancestor with you. These are the facts. This is empirical data. The record is in your cells. You have a copy of your DNA in all of the cells in your body. Right? It's a history book that records your ancestry. I'm going to read it again. If two people have the same Y-DNA haplogroup, it means that they usually share a common patrilineal ancestor more recently than two people from different haplogroups. But that common ancestor may still have been a long time ago. That can be estimated, but such estimates are not precise with current standard tests, although comprehensive sequencing of the Y chromosome is becoming available and will give improved precision. The haplogroup information is often accompanied by a story about the origin of your ancestors. And I'm going to allow Adam to come on here, and he's going to go into some of the genealogical things that Guerilla Hebrew shared, including a map of the world with arrows indicating ancestral migrations. Hundreds of thousands of men from around the world have now had their Y-DNA tested. And we have a very good idea of distribution of the different haplogroups in the present-day population. It is, however, difficult to be confident about where these haplogroups originated and how they spread. Many different histories could explain their current distribution. Sometimes a company will associate a haplogroup with, for example, Viking, Norman, or Saxon ancestry. But such associations are at best speculative and should be treated with caution. It says today's most haplogroups are shared among many populations, so would it have been for past populations? Furthermore, those past populations would have been genetically diverse and different from the modern populations in the regions of origin. Father line is just one lineage in your family tree, and as you go further back in time, it represents a rapidly diminishing proportion of your total ancestors. For example, you have 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents, and a man shares his Y chromosome with just one of these 64 ancestors. Any commentary you guys want to add to this?
Got the chart, by the way.
All right.
So this right here, some people might be wondering, how is he black, even though he doesn't even look black, but how is he, quote unquote, air quotes, black, but has an R marker? Well, this chart perfectly explains it. So this man right here, this white man, air quotes, he has haplogroup R, and then this black woman has mitochondrial L. Now I don't think we know Guerilla Hebrew's mitochondrial DNA, but just for the sake of argument, we're just going to stick with this structure. So a white man will get with a black woman. He will carry haplogroup R. She will carry haplogroup L. They'll have mixed kids together. But this mixed boy, it's a mulatto kid, he's going to carry haplogroup R from his father. And then he's going to get with a black woman, and his kid is going to still carry the R marker, even though autosomally he's going to eventually be mostly black, especially when you get to the next generation, and if they keep marrying black women, because this is how the autosomal DNA can increase. It's when they start to marry the females of another ethnic group more than, let's say, their father's lineage. And so you can have a full range of R marker black men, but they all go back. Their TMRCA, or their most common recent ancestor, would be this man with haplogroup R, even though they look black and all this other stuff. So does anybody want to add on to what they see on the chart?
Yeah. So if you go to the opposite side, well, this is how you can have cousins, first cousins that have different haplogroups. Move down a little bit or remove the banner. The shoot. Okay, so you see the daughter that's born to this R marker man and this L marker woman. The daughter is born, she has L. She is R, through her father, but she's L, all right, maternally, because you can't see her Y marker. But then she gets with a man who has haplogroup E. Now they have children. Scroll down a little bit. All right, right there. So these two have children. The parent with the L and the father with the E. And now you have first cousins, males, one with E and one with R. Do you see that, everybody? If you see it, put a one in the chat so I know that you got what I was saying. So this is how you can have a first cousin and they have a different Y chromosome than you.
Yep, that's 100%.
All right, so let me see. What direction should we go? Should we continue to teach them what the M269? I think we should do that. Then I'm gonna open it up and I'll let people join and see where the crowd is at on this.
Are we gonna be going into the ancient DNA?
Yeah, I got that.
I bet.
Watch this. All right, so check this out, y'all. So we read this. Now we know why DNA, what it means, what it determines patrilineal of descent. If you share the same letter, right, R, then you're going to share the same common ancestor with everybody on the planet that has that R. That's your branch of the human phylogenetic tree, right? So from there, let's talk about this RM269, because he said it's not from Europe, it's from Sudan. He told Garfield that his marker originates in Sudan. That's pseudoscience, but he wants to call DNA pseudoscience, right? So we're going to debunk that. We're going to refute that, not debunk it. We're going to refute it, right? So this is nature.com. And not Garfield, Guerilla Hebrew, please don't say that's the white man's science. That's the white man's science, brother. You're saying that, but you share common paternal ancestry with these people, man. Stop it. Cut it out.
Yeah, it's your science, brother.
It's your science. It's your people's science, man. All right. So a major Y chromosome haplogroup R1b Holocene era founder effect in Central and Western Europe. Right? This is August 2010. Now see the article, right? We actually provide our sources here. In the abstract, it says the phylogenetic relationship of numerous branches within the core Y chromosome haplogroup RM207 support a West Asian origin of haplogroup R1b. Its initial differentiation there followed by a rapid spread of one of its subclades carrying the M269 mutation to Europe. So if you take a test and you get M269, you are most likely a Western European by descent, which makes sense because if you look at the history, Western Europeans were coming over and taking over the Americas, reducing the native population, bringing slaves over, and admixing. So it's no surprise that there are African Americans walking around with the RM269 mutation. This is bearing witness to the history. Anybody want to add any commentary to that?
Nah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, bro.
All right. So it says here we present geographically resolved data for 2,400 2043 M269 derived Y chromosomes from 118 West Asian and European populations assessed for the M412 SNP that largely separates the majority of Central Western European R1b lineages from those observed in Eastern Europe, the Circumuralic region, the Near East, the Caucasus, and Pakistan. So you have a clear marker that goes back to Central and Western Europe. Why are we talking about Africa? Why are you even bringing up Africa? Your paternal side is going back there. And I don't know your maternal. We didn't see your maternal. I would like you to show your maternal as well. And we'll dig into that as well. So check this out. From there, let me go to this next article. Check this out. This is how we know where you come from. We have ancient DNA. So this is another Nature article. The corded ware cultural complexity uncovered using genomic and isotopic analysis from southeastern Poland. Now, we all don't play no games. Poland is not in Africa. We know exactly where Poland is, man. Europe. All right. Now, I'm just going to go straight to it. It says, during the final Neolithic, the corded ware complex emerges, chiefly identified by its specific burial rites. This complex spanned most of Central Europe and exhibits demographic and cultural associations to the Yamnaya culture. I want you guys to remember that, the Yamnaya, right? Check it out. To study genetic structure and kin relations in the CWC communities, we sequenced the genomes of 19 individuals located in the heartland of the CWC complex region, southeastern Poland. Whole genome sequences and strontium isotope data allowed us to investigate genetic ancestry, admixture, kinship, and mobility, right? So I'm going to get straight to the meat and potatoes of this because they dealt with ancient samples here. M269, boom, there it is. So the 19 individuals that they dug up in a Zoom, here they are. Molecular sex was assigned in all 19 individuals, of which 10 were subadults and therefore lacking prior osteological sex assignments. 8 individuals were female and 11 individuals were male. The Y chromosome, here it is, the Y chromosome haplogroup was assigned in 9 males, which all belong to the macro haplogroup R. And 7 individuals of the Y chromosome haplogroup was further narrowed down to the lineage R1b M269 or R11, characteristic of Yamnaya in bell beaker individuals, and particularly widespread throughout Eurasia since the Bronze Age. So there is no question that these ancient people have always been there in Europe, man. Since the Bronze Age, man. Your lineages go back to Yamnaya, which dominated Europe, removed the autochthonous Europeans that were related to Cheddar Man and his peoples, right, in the early Swedes. And now we fast forward today, they have the lion's share of male lineages. Anybody want to talk about that? Avery?
Nah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
All right.
I'm listening, but yeah.
All right, so with that,
I guess I could get into this though. The quick thing I'll say is this: the Yamnaya are Proto-Indo-Europeans. They come from the Pontic Steppe, which is modern day Ukraine, migrating into Europe and around the just like you see on the screen around the Bronze Age. So if you ever hear Yamnaya, that's basically PIE or Proto-Indo-European. So yeah. Actually, I wonder if I should pull up a map showing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link. So everybody that's itching to get on, the link is in the chat.
There's some interesting comments I saw. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah. When we get to his video, I think I'm going to point out all the different things that mirror what Teo said, that he said, like about how haplogroup R is seen in Africa. Teo said the exact same thing in his old video that he did 3 years ago about why haplogroups are truthworthy. And it's like they always go to the Cameroonians with R. They always go to Ramses with E1B1A, trying to make us Hamites, and it's like the same thing over and over again.
Hey, James, it says device not connected. You might want to leave and come back in. All right, we got Balkan Bully. We're gonna let y'all one by one. Why is this dude named Balkan Bully, man? I think this is gonna last. This is not gonna last too long. I'm gonna let this brother up. Balkan Bully, you on the show. What's going on?
Shalom, fam. It's me.
Oh,
Because I was about to say that's rude. You don't know the Balkan Bully?
This is my nickname because they call me Esau.
Wait a minute. They called you Esau, but these people got Western European. Oh, never mind.
Right. They got a male Western European marker. I have Greek, Jewish, autosomal DNA, and I'm an Edomite.
Right. Oh, we got brother Adam K in the building.
Yeah, it's a good news. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
Your
right.
mic is low.
It's a little low?
Yeah, but I can hear you though.
Okay.
Hold on, let me let one more person up. Let me drop my screen real quick. Mr. 707.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Can I make a point?
Sure.
So why do Caucasians sometimes also have sub-Saharan African DNA? Would we consider him a black man? A blonde-haired, blue-eyed Caucasian that has some sub-Saharan African DNA? Would we call him black?
Yes, I
Because
would
that's
call my
very likely
cousin
to
black.
happen.
I would call my
Okay?
cousin black. Yes, because his
I
father
couldn't hear you.
is black.
Well, first, are we
Oh,
talking about autosomal DNA or are we talking about Y DNA? And even with Y DNA, we have to be careful about that term sub-Saharan African.
but right, we wouldn't call a white man with a sub-Saharan African marker a black man.
Why?
Well,
We have to be
actually,
careful
if
of the
a
term
person,
black
like
and
for
white
instance,
man as well, too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We have to be careful of that term, too, black or white man, because when you're having discussions with us,
Or we wouldn't call him a European. He's technically, so say if he lives in America, he's of European descent, but he's of an American.
Yeah, we understand that, but he's denying the European descent part. To answer your question about what we call anyone black or white, those are social castes, and genetics has nothing to do with a social caste. A social
I
caste,
definitely understand that.
right? So that's just something we constructed. Biology is something we inherit, right?
So what happened to the heavy Moor presence in Southern Europe?
All right, so I'm glad you said that because someone was posing the question in the chat about when I was reading the R markers in Europe, they were saying something about Moors. So these R markers were there prior to the Moors. They come in the Bronze Age. They make their expansion in the Bronze Age and before the Bronze Age, right?
So that would be like an Etruscan.
They would
no,
be
there would
there
be
during that period.
Proto-Indo-Europeans.
They're not the Etruscans, but they would have been there during that period, right?
Right. That would be
Long
the
before.
Etruscans would be that time period of that marker you're talking about.
Well, Etruscans were also Indo-Europeans too. There's Indo-Europeans of Italy.
And they were There were a lot of them that were melanated.
Dark skin doesn't matter. Like
Yeah,
Australia.
you're
also
arguing
have to-
skin color. We're not arguing skin color. We're arguing lineage.
I would say this to you,
That's
brother.
what's the point?
But hold on, bro. I would say this
What's
to
the
you.
point?
You posed a question. You posed a question if if a European looking man, phenotypical looking man, had a let's say a E marker you use the term black, I would say I wouldn't call him white or black. If he was having this discussion with me, I would call him a descendant. He descends from a paternal Afro-Asiatic male. That's what I would say to you.
On the father's side.
Right. Even if he looks white, I would still look at you. If you ask me that question, I would tell you that he descends.
And you said the study was looking at specifically the Y chromosome, right?
Well, it depends, like Evie was saying, because autosomally he might have it, and it could have came through, some grandparents that he may have had, that didn't determine his Y or his mtDNA. But in the mix of his family, like the chart that we pulled up, there might be a grandparent or somebody, an aunt, uncle, or somebody in there that has Afro or African or Afro-Asiatic admixture in them. So it depends on what
he could be like those Melungeons, pretty much, who was pretty much African men who ran off with white women into the Appalachian Mountains. And they kept collecting the white women until their kids came out looking like typical white folks.
And I also seen some, I don't want to get too far off topic, but I seen some, I was looking into the Neanderthal, and I forgot which way it was. Either the Neanderthal woman couldn't get pregnant by, what we consider that a Homo sapien, but a Homo sapien could impregnate a Neanderthal or something like that.
It was that the human woman was having a hard time giving birth to a male Neanderthal child. That's one of the hypotheses of how they got wiped out.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but in a nutshell,
So
I'm gonna let Garfield up. Hold on. I'm gonna let Garfield up. So, in a nutshell, skin color has little to do with your lineage. Abu says it the best. It says the first carrier of each major haplogroup, for example, the first C carrier, the first D carrier, the first G carrier, even the first R carrier, perhaps was probably dark skin. The skin tone says little. We know the Cro-Magnons were dark. Most Europeans descend from Cro-Magnon. They were dark skinned. They had an African morphology, or quote unquote African morphology, right? That doesn't mean anything. Their children look white, some of them look black. Some of our paternal ancestors and paternal relatives look black, look white, and maternal.
Right.
All that tells you is humans are variegated, right? But let me bring up my brother Garfield.
Hey, what's up, King? What's up, everybody in the panel? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. What's going on, man? Why are you here?
Why? I'm here to defend Guerilla Hebrew, man. I'm saying ain't nobody seeing his paperwork. He's just talking. He made an error. It was an E, and he thought it was an R. That's all it is, bro. Come on, man. All of this is for nonsense, man. You know what's crazy? I'm saying that we really haven't seen it though. Because who to tell he's probably reading it wrong? We don't know. Nobody has seen his paperwork. Nobody's seen the marker. Nobody's seen the Y marker. Nothing. I'm just saying.
He said it was R on the video. He said it was R1B. What we supposed to do? Not take his word?
I don't know, man. And that video he made last night, I don't even know why he made that video, man. I can't even figure that out. I'm trying to defend the brother, man, because he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He's not like he's some wacko way out there,
Now we just saying it's ironic, Garfield, that he's been running around here saying that Europeans going to hell, they the devil, all this and that, and he shares Y paternal lineage with him. You know what I mean?
The elder in Israel, he claims he's R2, and that's Israelite, man, and he's in Israel right now. So why are we not rocking with him? He might be right.
The evidence ain't showing that, Garfield. We know that with the Bronze Age and Iron Age.
Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with y'all. Hey, but Yashub, on a serious note, I want to ask you a question. Did you see on his presentation where he showed the British and the Irish, and then the last one ended with Sudan? Did you get a slide? Did you get a copy of that?
Yeah, I saw that, man.
All right. Do you think that the British and the Irish at the top is a dead giveaway though?
Yeah, that's probably where his male ancestor came from. His great grandfather came from.
Yeah, because I was telling this Israelite brother that I don't think probably his father is not really his father or his grandfather. It's probably his great grandfather. It got introduced at that point, and that's where the lineage he comes from. But which he can't be to blame for. But at least the brother is trying to live right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like he out there robbing and stealing from people. You know, so the brother is a good brother, man. It's just sad that he was going around preaching against white folks in
His
general, even
kinfolk.
his mom. Even his
His
mom. He said some stuff about his mom to Polite that was just, I'm like, whoa.
He said his mom
You
the
know?
devil. I remember.
Yeah, and but I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, for 5 years you've been saying it. I've been saying. I don't know for 5 years for you, but I know for 5 years I've been saying it. You know, that I wish everybody would do a test. I had a conversation with brother Captain Tazariak and Captain Kataza at the debate with Malik Zula Shabazz, and I said, bro, if both of y'all take a DNA test, man, and one of y'all ain't the same as everybody else, then one of y'all not an Israelite, but they don't want to take it. And I think what happened now with Guerilla Hebrew is they definitely not going to take it.
Hell no, because it's gonna mess up their
Because
doctrine.
Katazar, man, you look at the Puerto Rico percentage, man. Oh man, like 70%. Oh man, he ain't taking no test, man. He ain't taking no test. Yeah, but that's all I want, though. All right, but
Hey,
peace and love to
hold
y'all.
on.
And what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Garfield? I got a question for you.
Who is this?
This is Sean.
Well, oh, what's up, Sean? What's up? What's
How
up?
you
What's up?
doing?
What's up? Mm-hmm.
All right. So not to get off topic real quick, I just have a question for you about something that you stated on Berean's channel. Saying that that the Yap Gang would say that E1B1A is the marker for, or the haplogroup, the specific haplogroup for Israel. I wanted to know where did you hear any one of us say that?
I think
that's
Yashub.
bold
I think
statement.
Yashub already corrected me on that before, so I don't
All
think I
right.
need to elaborate on that. But
All
that's
right,
the impression I got from something I heard before. But I mean, if I'm wrong about that, I mean, it's no big deal. I mean,
No,
what
I
is
just
there to
wanted
debate
to.
about?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I just wanted you know to, because we never. I just wanted to make it clear we don't make bold statements like that.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, so I just wanted to have that out there. So next time you speak it, if we come up, you know, you know exactly what it is that we push.
Well, what do you push? Tell me what you push.
We believe that E1B1A and E1B1B it would be amalgamation of both.
Oh, okay. You believe there's an amalgamation of both that makes what the Israelites are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And what do you
Garfield,
what do you base that on?
we postulate that Abraham is
Hold on,
EP2.
beloved.
Wait, it's all the same.
Let Sean finish. No. He's the one that challenged me. So let Mr.
Okay.
Big Boy Sean finish his
Hold on
talking.
now.
Go ahead,
First
bro.
of all, I didn't challenge you. I asked you a
No.
question.
Finish your
All
point.
right.
Finish your point.
All right.
Go
So
ahead.
because of how the mutations run, so we don't think that it would be just A1B1A, because the mutations run. How the mutations, you know, it could the mutations could happen. So you would have somebody who has an old mutation, like E2 is still running around, and so
Oh, okay, I
you
got
could
you.
have somebody with EV2 today that would be able to produce a mutation.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Because so like what James was saying, he's giving a hypothesis as far as if Abraham was X, Y, and Z, he would feel like E1B1A and E1B1B, a mixture, would be what the Israelites were. Is that the point?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much the downstream mutation from EP2 is
Okay.
E1B1A and E1B1B.
So, but okay. So I mean, it's a hypothesis, as Yashub said on my channel the other day. So I ain't gonna argue with a hypothesis.
Yeah, and the Israelites would have been mixed up anyway. They would have had J, they would have had T, because there would have been an amalgamation.
So why not Guerilla Hebrews R? I'm throwing that in the mix. Come on, man. I gotta save my brother, man. Come on, man.
Hey, look,
I gotta save my
the
brother.
region,
Why
but
y'all
it would have
laughing,
been
man? It ain't funny, man. Come on, man. I gotta save Guerilla, man. Why
It's
not R?
it's not likely R1B played a major role in that region. They might have mixed, but I don't think they played a major role in the Levantine region.
Man, I gotta go look for some article defend Guerilla Hebrew, man.
brother. They was too busy in Europe doing their thing, man. You gonna
Hey,
take
look,
away
wait,
the
hold
You
up,
know
hold up,
what?
hold up.
You know what's
It wasn't
crazy?
the reason
You,
because King
y'all,
Tut got
y'all,
R1B.
y'all, you know what's crazy is King James. Me and Daniela might be debating that in November, right? And you know we got to bring up the whole King James thing, and he was RM269. Now, listen. You see, I don't know, man. I don't know. The 12, every debate I'm in now, everybody gonna be watching because they're like, what's gonna come out again? You know, because Guerilla, I never thought he would have brought up DNA, yo. That's why I was laughing the whole time. I couldn't even keep my composure. I say, yo, you should have never brought up DNA. You might have ended your entire career. And it's the truth. That's crazy. But R is from Sudan, though. As far as Guerilla, I'm following Guerilla teachings. R is from Sudan, so y'all can go because R is from Sudan. I'm going by Guerilla Hebrew. He has the papers to defend it. So R is from Sudan, and he showed his source. So what you got to say about that? No takers.
Easy. Europeans. Hold on, easy. Eurasian Europeans migrating into Africa. Boom. That's not really hard.
Listen, man, I'm saying they
We
from
got tons
Sudan
of
because
sources on
Guerilla
that.
Hebrew, the master teacher of DNA, Guerilla Hebrew said it. You can't get
You
it. You
ain't
can't
right,
go
brother.
by it. You can't
You
get
ain't
by it.
right.
I don't care what y'all say.
You ain't right, man.
The Most High inspired him to teach that. So I'm going with Guerilla Hebrew, man. I'm rocking with the Guerilla. Well, anyway, man, I'm out of here, man. Peace and love. Keep doing what y'all doing, man. I'm here. All right.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right.
I had a question, if you don't mind. And I don't specialize in the DNA. I'm kind of just now learning about it myself. Say, for instance, you have a white man raped a slave, and they had a child. Or we're saying that.
I wouldn't say we're saying that. We're saying that patrilineally he does not descend from Israel.
So
I think it's, hold on real quick. I think it's two different conversations that are had here. One posits that a man named Jacob lived and had children, right?
Okay.
If a man named Jacob lived and he had children, he would have a Y chromosome, right? And his male descendants will all have a copy of his Y chromosome. That's how it works. You have sex with a woman, and that child takes a copy of your chromosome.
Right.
So we're saying those children will have to have that Y chromosome, right? That's what we're saying. If you're saying a man named Jacob lived and you descend from him, that means everybody that you claim to descend from him have to share the same Y DNA marker.
Well, let me throw the curveball
Or a
in there.
downstream mutation of it.
A downstream, yeah.
Let me throw the curveball in there. What if we don't know the full extent of that white man's DNA? And what if when that white man raped a slave, they had a daughter, and the daughter came back to Israel, and had a son with an Israelite?
You having
look, the Y chromosome goes from father to son. So whoever the father is gonna hand that
But
Y
in that
chromosome.
instant, you could pick up the R.
Brother, hold on. Let me finish. So when you say something like we don't know who the father, we may not know exactly who the father is, but if we get that son's Y chromosome from him, we know that the father had to match that son, so we can trace him back. Now, if he has a daughter and the daughter comes back and has a son with a man with E1B1A, then his child's gonna have E1B1A. But we're not saying, oh no, they're not part of our community.
But that R would still, that R could still show up though, right? On when they pull up the whatever you descend from.
Correct. It's gonna still show up that you descend from a group outside of our group, patrilineally.
Even if your grandfather was an R, but your father wasn't.
No, your father has to be what your grandfather was.
Yeah, that's
unless it's on a
impossible.
different side of the family.
No, I'm saying if the woman had a son with a male Israelite.
Oh, well, then he gonna have
so
the same
she brought
marker
it
as
back
his father.
full circle, huh?
Yeah, it come back full circle. Correct.
That's what I'm saying, and that's more than likely what's gonna happen.
So wait a minute. So,
but that can never
if I'm not
happen with
mistaken,
Guerilla Hebrew, though. That can never happen with Guerilla Hebrew because hold on real quick. I'll just say this one word and I'll hand it right to you. Because his sons Gorilla's Hebrew sons will always have the same marker he has, R1B. Only his daughters could do what you're saying, bring it back full circles. But his son will always go back to European males. I yield.
Let me say this real quick, brother. What if we found Abraham? Let's say Abraham, we proved he existed or whatever. Right now, we don't have no body of him, right? Let's say we found his body, and I'm gonna take us out of it, right? Let's say we found out he J1P58. What that would mean is none of us are descendants of Abraham, and none of us have a claim to Jacob paternally, meaning we don't directly descend from. That doesn't mean that a nation of Israel did not exist and it had foreigners amalgamate with them. That's why I be telling y'all, like, ancient Israel is an amalgamation. It had a lot of different groups a part of them. I just don't believe R1B was ancestral to the Levant. I don't believe that. Could have been admixed with them later, maybe. That's all. That's all we're saying. There's two different conversations. One conversation is, oh, what if they join the nation of Israel? Anybody can join the nation of anything. They can join any group. Most groups are a blend of people anyway. African Americans are a blend of people. That's why you have people like Guerilla Hebrew with an R1B chromosome and lineage.
Well, it sounds like when they doing that type of search, they're pulling up every type of haplogroup that made you exist. It's not saying in what order.
Yes, it actually is.
And so what you're saying is because he has an R type haplogroup, he's Esau.
No, nobody said that. We were making light. We were making light of what he says. We were being satirical because he teaches that white people. Yeah, he teaches that white people are Edomites. So I'm saying, well, does that make him?
You know what? I like to say I don't get down. I don't really. I don't personally. I don't. You know, I'll kick the word in, but I don't personally. I don't go into telling people, hey, you gonna be my slave and all that, because you never know. That's not being wise as wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You don't never know. Somebody whip out on you, stab you, whatever. So personally, I don't get down with that myself. I would tell those brothers. I never really seen Guerilla do it. I seen like the younger SICARRI dudes. They're quick to, but I would say, yeah, that's probably something that is not all the way necessary. If that helps.
I mean, I just think it's ironic that you got your leader being a descendant of a Western European and you going around beating up on white folks and saying that their kids is going to go into slavery and all type of crazy madness, you know. And I agree with Garfield. Everybody should take a DNA test.
Right. I mean, at some point in time, you got to trust the system. How do they collect our data? You know what I'm saying? How can it be used against you?
Oh, now we're going to question. Wait a minute. So you're saying this is our thing about Black Hebrew Israelites. We don't question the faulty logic of Black Hebrew Israelites, but when it comes to everything else,
I do all the time. I do all the time. I just told you that that's probably not a good idea to, I mean, because like you said, we don't know who is what. In the end, we can only assume.
But isn't it reasonable to ask people to be logically coherent with their talking points? When you go around teaching something like the 12 tribes chart, that's logically incoherent, right? Because those people that they're put on that chart all have different ancestries. They don't all tie back to the same male.
So we have to go back to what the scripture says a lot of times and apply the spiritual sense. And would somebody on the spiritual level operate the way Guerilla would if he's the wrong he's not him?
The scripture
that has nothing to do with anything.
The pedigrees by the house of your father. That's your Y chromosome.
Thank you.
So
right, and you're saying that his R is specifically on the Y chromosome.
Correct.
Like I said, like the brother before said, we don't have the facts in front of us to really dispute it properly.
He said it
we just going off of what. I'd
He's
have
a
to
witness
see.
to himself. He's a witness to himself. He said he took the 23andMe test. I seen the 23andMe test, so I know he know his haplogroup. And he
Right.
said
So
it's
what I would
R.
have to do is go back to what you're referencing and do my own research and instead of just out the gate assuming
This
Fair
ain't
enough.
before I
assuming.
come to a conclusion. And
Uh,
then
assuming would
after
be
I
us
come
just
to the
saying it. We're not assuming. He said it from his own results.
Twice at that. Once with Garfield, then last night that he was R.
I understand that. I still had to do my own due diligence to really understand the scope, the understand the whole thing. Because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't, like I said, I'm not a DNA expert. You
You don't
feel
have
me?
to be a
So,
DNA expert to understand that these people teach that you are who your father is. Right?
right.
You don't have to be a DNA expert for that.
And it
we
doesn't
see
take
who his father is through his Y chromosome. You understand that a Y chromosome determines whether or not you're male? Right?
But what we're saying is just
So
because you
that's why we
contain a
trace.
haplogroup, that doesn't mean that is your you know what you are.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
does.
does.
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
You say you are what your
You're
father is. Your
you're
Y
you're
chromosome
saying
is
he
what
has
your
an R
father is.
makeup on the father's side.
He's saying he
That
has
could be a
R,
great grandfather.
Exactly.
but
And
it's still
everybody
him.
in that
But
lineage got an R.
if his grandfather brought him back, it don't matter.
Wait, what?
Wait a
What
minute,
are
wait a
you
minute. That's
talking
what I was
about?
saying.
Brought
That's what I
back?
was trying to ask you earlier.
He's
So
mixing.
what you said,
Hold on, real quick. You're mixing biology with some kind of spiritual mumbo jumbo. Just stick with the biology.
No, if you come back down the lineage and then your grandmother, whatever she came from, came back
Y ain't
to
gonna
an
switch, brother.
Israelite, you are an Israelite.
Why are we talking about the mother though?
right?
Because
We're
he's
talking
making.
about the
Because he.
Bible makes it very
Time
clear.
out.
Because
No. Remember what he said
whatever
earlier.
your chromosome is, you coming out of a woman.
What are you
Dude,
talking
Right,
about?
but the
Okay,
matriline
so
is
let's go by
separate
his
from the
wife.
patriline. They're two
Let's go.
separate lines, just like you're
If
looking
you
at one string and another string in two separate hands. They don't tie in together, and you
right,
get the middle of this string into the
so that
middle
would
of this
mean that
string. That's not how that
it has
works.
to be at least it has to be
you should
before
share my
the
screen. Let me pull up
that
the
means it has
family
to be
tree chart.
before the parents.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Avery,
Let him
pull the
go by
chart.
us. His
Pull up the
mother
chart
is
again.
a European female.
Hey, I'm going to
So
share
you
my
want to go by
screen
the
with you.
mother?
I think we gotta show him
All right, I'm
like
gonna show you
visually.
your screen, brother.
No, it's not his mother. It's something like his great grandmother,
But by the way,
his great grandmother,
What
not his
happened to
mom's
his
mom.
mitochondrial DNA as his mother?
He's not
can you
getting it, brother.
turn down your mic? You're kind of loud. You got like you're shouting and
You talking about me or
yeah. Is there a way you can turn down your mic or something?
my bad? I'm on speakerphone. I'm in the whip. Sorry.
Thanks. But here's a chart, and so as you can see right here, the Y DNA. This is what I mean, or what we mean, should I say, when it comes to the Y DNA being passed down from father to son. It's an unbroken chain, a pure lineage of men. And so Guerilla Hebrew would have haplogroup R, which comes from his father, which comes from his grandfather, which comes from his great grandfather, all the way back to the first man with haplogroup R, which likely lived in Southeast Asia or North Eurasia. And this is what we mean. Hopefully, this kind of visualizes it for you.
So when we were saying full circle, that didn't mean nothing. You can come full circle with it,
No,
even
see,
if
that's what
you.
I was trying to say a minute ago. Everybody discounting what I don't think they take into account what he said earlier. He was talking about earlier how, yeah, the father may be R1B, he marries a black woman. The daughter goes and marries a black man and brings E1B1A back into the family. But I was trying to explain to him that wouldn't change the Y chromosome of the sons of Guerilla Hebrew, for instance. All of his children that descend from him on the male side will be R1B. Now, his daughter can go marry a black man and bring E1B1A, but that would be part of that man's lineage from then on, create E1B1A for that man that she marries, not for her father.
All right. So Avery, pull up the other chart, the other chart that you had.
Give me a quick second. Let me.
Yeah, pull
So-
that one up so we can explain that to him.
And-
Because what he's
and-
trying to explain to you is that regardless to if his great great grandfather was R, he would be R. It's not
Yeah.
going to
So-
change.
Yeah.
But his sister, let's say if Guerilla Hebrew has a sister, right? And she comes from the same father and the same mother. Now she goes and marries a man
Grab my screen.
with haplogroup E, then her children, but not his children, not the brother's children, but the sister's children will fall back in line with E. But the brother who was born from the father who has haplogroup R, he is going to stay R, and his children and his grandchildren and his great great grandchildren all the way down. It's never going to change.
So,
Right.
but we still have to ask ourselves: does the scripture, the pedigree of your father, was that implying a DNA test?
Well, wait, now you're going somewhere else. I mean, it's
Not
like
a DNA test, but it implies DNA.
I mean,
True.
like, because there's also scriptures that says debatements about genealogies is vain.
All right, hold on, real. Stop right there. Stop right there. If that's the case, you would not be showing a 12 tribes chart. You would not be telling people they go back to Jacob. You would
There
not
is
be
no
saying,
Messiah.
No, that's not.
no, stop. If
No.
genealogy doesn't matter, stop trying to connect yourself to ancient people.
So if
then.
you, if you
No,
could
but
be,
ain't no ifs to it. If genealogy is a problem, see, this is what I'm talking about with Black Hebrew.
I didn't say it was a problem. I said trying to apply modern technology to the manuscript is akin to
not?
vanity.
Wait, no. Hold on. Wait a minute. So you're saying don't use no modern technology. Put your phone down.
Right, because you don't.
No,
you're not.
no. Get
You're
off your
not.
phone. Log
What-
on. Turn your
What is your
phone off.
qualification to discuss DNA?
Use your. Hold on, real quick.
The ability to read and
You
comprehend.
don't have a qualification to discuss DNA.
Stop using.
Why not?
You know
We
why?
can't read
You know why you're
articles?
saying that? Because somebody you like and follow has a DNA.
No, I'm just
Yes,
saying.
that is what you're saying, bro.
You're doing the same thing he's doing.
What am I doing?
If that's the case,
What am I
Basing
doing?
your information off of the research
Because-
articles we have read. That's what you're doing, Yeshua.
so if Moses say, let's just give an example. Say, so wouldn't Ishmael also have Abraham's DNA?
Yes.
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 100%.
100%, right?
Correct.
And his kids with
All the
Keturah,
males in his lineage.
all the males would have his Y haplogroup, no matter who he had children with, no matter who he had sons with. They
Are
would
we
all
calling
have
it
the same.
right? So basically, back in the day, an Israelite, they could take on a son that they didn't. Yes or no? That they
That
did
is
not
possible.
necessarily birth.
That is possible.
Yes, they could.
That
And
is,
as long as he was circumcised, correct?
yes.
Yeah, you're
We
talking
agree.
about
Yeah,
an
but
opposite.
example of that
But
in
that would
Chronicles
still
that
make
you
him
said.
of that father's lineage.
No, it wouldn't make him of his lineage. It would make him an Israelite.
Of
He
his
could become
tribe.
an Israelite.
Oh,
Hold on,
it-
wait. He could
wait.
become an Israelite, but he would not be directly descended from that father.
correct.
But he
He
would
would
be
come out
of
of
that
his
tribe.
Right. Yes, he would. He would be
That's
of the
what
tribe.
lineage
because-
means.
Hold on,
No,
wait,
it
bro,
isn't.
slow down. If you
No,
just
it
give us a
doesn't.
chance, maybe you'll understand. If he
Lineage-
came,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, James. Go ahead, James.
No, you got it out. Go ahead. My bad.
If Moses adopted a son and the son was a foreigner, Moses would have him circumcised and he would at that point become an Israelite. Would he be able to practice as a Levitical priest? That's a whole other situation.
Probably not. Probably not.
See, now you get it. You're getting it. You're
And
getting
you
it
see
now.
what the issue is? He's claiming to be a Levite, Guerilla Hebrew.
Right, but hold on for a second, because I'm making some leeway with the brother now. Right, so you're starting to get it. He wouldn't be able to be a practicing priest, but he would still.
I'm saying probably.
Hold on, wait, slow down.
that's-
All right, wait. Let me
that's
finish.
Answering
Bro,
from my
please.
heart,
Bro,
not from
please.
scripture
Bro,
or actual, not
bro. Bro, could you please allow me to finish?
Go ahead.
He probably would not be able to be, I would say, he would not be able to be a practicing priest, but he would still be considered a Levite. Why? Because he was adopted by by Moses, and Moses is of the tribe of Levi. So he would be considered a Levite, but I don't think he would be able to practice or be a practicing priest because he is not a blood-born Levite from the Levitical branch. You have to be a Levite by birth to be a priest.
Is Levi still,
Levi's around, we just don't know who he is. We don't know which one of us, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I can't point out who's a Levite and who isn't.
But I'll know this.
Hold on, let me address this hater real quick. Raphael, join the link, brother. You've been hating this whole time.
There's someone else, by the way.
Bro, matter of fact, you go do a DNA, man. Go get your DNA. Look, I will sponsor you to get your DNA tested, brother. You look Hispanic. You probably E1B1B, or you probably I or something, or G or something, brother. Or J.
Check Telegram, you shoot, by the way. So there's somebody else in Telegram who's acting up.
I got you. Hold on. Let me he made a comment. He said I probably lost it. He said the spirit is the measuring stick. You can't. So the next time the geneticists go to a dig and they find ancient remains, David Reich should say, let me go by the spirit. Because that's gonna find out who this man is, what his phenotypic analysis is.
Well, I mean, it's gonna go.
Hold on real quick. I'm responding to questions. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, he should just use the spirit, right? That's bullshit. Y'all been quote unquote using the spirit for 20 and 30 years, and you have made up a bunch of bullshit, man.
No,
Native Americans.
It's how the curses apply to us.
Nah, curses apply to many people.
Bro, you're gonna have to.
No, they don't.
Wait, you're gonna have to show some decorum, or we're gonna shut you down, bro.
I'm finished because I'm trying to address Raphael because he's not gonna get on here.
Exactly, because
he's not gonna show up. Right.
But I'm talking about the brother that you just
by
shut
the
down.
spirit is a flawed and imprecise criterion because you've been doing that for 30, 40, 50 years, going by the spirit. And guess what? You have created a confabulation known as the 12 tribes chart with a bunch of people that don't even relate to each other. So how the hell are you saying you're all Jacob?
Hey, wasn't the year 2000 by the spirit?
Yeah, the year 2000 prophecy was by the spirit. There's a bunch of illiterate niggas that don't know shit get together and talk about, just go by my word. Get the hell out of here, man.
Whatever you do, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you've been talking this whole time.
I think he has been.
All right, so listen, bro. We're gonna ask you to show some decorum. Please don't talk. That's not what we do here. Don't talk over anybody.
I was disrespectful.
Wait, you're doing it again.
Turn down your mic a little bit. You're kind of loud.
You have to allow the person that's speaking to get.
Facts is a little heavy though.
You're doing it again, bro.
Brother, if I'm a linguist, a dualist, I can't help it.
Bro, you have to be able to listen. Listen first. Be slow to speak and quick to listen. And then when the person finished speaking, we're going to give you the floor and you can say whatever you have to say.
All right.
But then when we retort, you have to allow for that to happen. Or we're going to send you down and then it's going to look like we're being disrespectful to you and we don't want to talk to you, which is not the case. We want to hear you and we want to try to give you some of this information at the same time trying to understand what it is that what you see or understand genetics or DNA to be in your mind. We don't have a problem with that. We're going to listen. We're going to hear you out, but you have to hear us out too. And you have to have an open mind and an open heart. All right? Can you do that for me, brother?
Got you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. I'll yield the floor to whoever was speaking.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Hey, listen. Bottom line is BHIs teach that Jacob existed. They believe Jacob was a man. They believe he had kids, and they believe they're the descendants of those kids. The one way to find out if you're the descendant of somebody is through your Y chromosome, and that's being denied. That's being denied, and we older, like we're doing a disservice to the community, bro. Not being honest about your genetic makeup is just silly. And these guys claim to be teachers of the community. You owe the community to be logically coherent, and the 12 tribes chart is logically incoherent. That's it. There's nothing more, nothing less to it, right? It's that simple.
How do we come to? Sorry, how do we come to that conclusion that it's not something that at least to at least take into account?
Can you rephrase that question again?
You take into account what?
So you're saying that the 12 tribes chart is just BS.
Correct.
Okay. And how do you come about that conclusion?
Because everybody on the chart can have different Y chromosomes.
Exactly.
Right.
You said everybody on the chart can't have different Y chromosomes.
I'm gonna give an
And that
example.
comes from the
Like
same
the majority of African Americans, quote unquote, who they say is the tribe of Judah, have E1B1A. But then they say that the tribe of Gad is the Native Americans, but they have haplogroup Q. These are unrelated haplogroups. One goes back to ancient Europeans. One goes back to Western Eurasian people.
Afro-Asiatics, yeah.
Yeah, Afro-Asiatic.
So how far back is this specific test actually going?
All the way
and
back
how far back do you believe it's going?
Well, once you
Haplogroups
know,
yeah.
go ahead if you want to, even.
Haplogroups go back to the very first founder effect of that haplogroup, the TMRCA, which means the most common recent ancestor. So haplogroup E goes all the way back to E-M96. I don't want to get too complicated, but
if you had a time frame, if you had a specific time frame that is, what would that be? Like if you could say, well, we could conclusively say that these tests go back 2,000 years. Is that
you're breaking up? Can you say, or is that?
I think from what he asking, it ain't necessarily.
Yeah, he's breaking up. I can't hear him.
It ain't necessarily how far the test goes back. Once you know the Y chromosome, you know,
right,
and you can find out who the founder is of that Y chromosome by, for instance, looking at ancient DNA. Like if we find like a basal R in Siberia, we know that all R's descend from this basal R.
Right.
Help him out. He don't know what basal means.
Can he hear us, or is because I can't hear him if he's talking right now?
Well, he said he's driving. He might be. He said he was on his cell phone and he was driving.
Can he hear us?
Wait a minute, how is DNA working?
Yeah, I just see Muck's. He's saying basically the same thing that this brother is saying, but we're trying to reach out to him. Hey, listen. I know we're trying to deal with the people in the chat and that, but are we going to touch this video at all?
Hey, I was thinking the same thing though.
Yeah, I was like,
I was gonna do the video tomorrow.
We don't.
Knew it was gonna be crazy.
Hey, yeah, I'm about to say
we don't ran it, but we got to give a little bit of.
I don't think.
Yeah, we got to give. Yeah, hold on for a second, brother.
All right.
We already, like James said, we are an hour and 30-something minutes in, and we ain't even touched the video yet. And I know you said you want to touch it tomorrow, but can we get a little bit in?
My bad.
Here in a minute, we'll touch a little bit, but trust me.
Yeah, and then we'll finish. And then we'll finish the rest tomorrow.
Listen to me, Sean. Listen to me. I am going to bed.
No, I agree. I got to go to bed too. You know, I got to get to bed. But I'm saying let's just touch it a little bit, and then we'll continue it tomorrow or whatever day you want to. And we'll go through the whole video. I don't want to spend too much time talking to people at this moment. We can do that at the end. You know, we can have after we finish, like when we finally get through the video, whether it be today, tomorrow, or the day after, we can come back here and just start inviting people up and let them make their arguments.
Yeah, Muck. So Muck, your statement is akin to saying a car is worthless when it comes to driving.
You talking to me?
No, I'm
Nah,
talking
whoever
about
this
Muck
muck dude is, man.
You can put the
Like,
That's
link
just
back
like
in.
saying an
DNA
airplane
is
is
the only
worthless when it
way
comes to
to track
flying.
your
Like, come on, brother.
ancestry. Like, it's the only way you can track your ancestry, but you're gonna say it's worthless in doing it. What?
Yeah.
When you
Can I say something real quick before I
you go
go?
to that
Or ask,
courthouse and they say you are the father, what do they give you? A damn DNA test. The hell is wrong
can I
with
say
you?
something before I cut?
What is it, brother?
Now, if you in this word real heavy and you feeling the spirit is really hitting home, this is you, and you take a DNA test, and something on this DNA test, it break. Are you going to allow that DNA test to break your faith as far as who you believe you are?
Yes.
Well,
No.
Yes.
Bro,
No. You
Well,
said
that's
believe
too
you
easy
are.
for the white
If I
man.
go
Yeah.
around believing, hold on, brother. If
Now,
I
if
go
Israel's
around
waking
believing
up,
that listen, you want to answer? If I
yeah.
go around my whole life believing that I come from the Han Dynasty, right? That's my belief. I got faith in it. Every day. I'm telling everybody I'm happy, I'm excited. Yeah, I go back to the Han Dynasty, and I go take a DNA test, and my DNA marker is not does not comport with the ancient samples that comport with the Han Dynasty. If I'm going to be honest, intellectually honest, I have to say, listen, I'm not those people.
Right, but like if I look like how I look, and
Yeah,
I'm
feeling don't equate
supposing
to
that I'm
truth.
a Han, you know what I'm saying? I
Phenotype
don't
doesn't
really
matter.
look like a Han. My culture is not like a Han. I don't fit
What
none
does
of
that
their
matter?
culture. It's kind of hard for me to, you know what I'm saying? If your parents was, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you feel like if you have all these similarities to the Hans, and then you have this conclusion that you're from the Hans, that's plausible.
Hey,
And
let me
then you
ask you
want
a
to,
question real quick, brother. Let me ask you a question. Does Nas look like a Viking?
does knowledge?
No, does Nas, the
Nas.
rapper,
Nas, the
Nas.
rapper.
No,
Does he look like a Viking?
no.
But his Y chromosome goes back to Vikings, brother.
What I'm trying to explain to you, brother, if somebody is if a people is waking up, they don't have to necessarily lie to you, 23andMe. They just have to give you inconclusive facts. They have to give you not the full truth, and that, you know what I'm saying, and it's akin to a lie.
Nah,
You know what I'm
bro, that's
saying?
not how it works. 23andMe is not
That's what
some
I'm
grand
saying.
conspiracy, bro. It's not. That's not how it works. They can
I'm
care
not
less.
saying that it's a conspiracy, brother, but it might be some inconclusive, incomplete information, and you
What
getting
I would
half
say to
truth.
you is this. What I would say to you is this, brother. If the spirit moves you and you believe you're Israel, fine. But don't go running on the corner and yelling at people and telling them they ain't Israel, and you Israel, and then you really don't
Absolutely.
know that. Let me finish.
Absolutely. That's not how
And you
I
really
operate
don't know.
personally.
Let me finish, brother, please. And you really don't know that you're Israel, but you out now because the spirit moved you. And now, instead of you being humble about it and sitting still and doing your research or reading your Bible and saying, okay, I believe I may be these people, I'm going to follow this path, because there's still salvation for you, regardless to if you belong or if you don't, as long as you believe in the Most High and his son. But when you start going on the corner and pointing at people and spitting at people and talking to them and telling them that I'm real and you're not, and you have no clue whether you are or not, then there's a problem. You need to humble yourself. This is what we're arguing. We're not arguing that the brother can't be a part of Israel. We're not arguing that nobody, regardless to what you look like, could be
Are
a
you
part
Israel?
of Israel. Am I Israel? Is that what you asked me? Yes.
Yes, sir. And you
Yes.
know this through the DNA test, and that's
I
not
have
through
a
the
higher
spirit.
probability. Yes. My DNA tells me, and my migration pattern tells me that I have a higher probability than the majority of people out here running
Did you
around
feel it in
saying,
your spirit?
yes, I do feel it in my spirit.
There you
But
go.
I ain't running
Do
around.
you
I
have
ain't
an
running
issue
around.
with
But
Jews
notice
feeling
I
how
am
they
it?
not
come
running
together,
around.
though.
I'm not
Huh?
running around spitting on people. I'm not running around telling white people that they don't belong. I'm
That's a
not
sign.
doing
It's
none of those
definitely a
things.
sign of immaturity.
Hey,
Okay.
but
Well, let me
Sean,
ask you this question. You
wait,
said
hold on
that
one
people
second.
have
Hold
to
on
be
one
led
second.
by the Spirit.
Hold on one second. Sean, notice
Okay.
how your feeling and DNA test came together. You know, it wasn't just one or the other. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? This brother's saying we just gonna go off our feelings. Look, I remember people used to go to church, sitting around, jumping, yelling, because of feelings.
Yeah.
But you would right now go and tell them people they going off, but they felt it in their spirit though. It felt
Right.
good. That
Mhm.
don't mean nothing, brother.
I'm just sorry if did I cut you off? Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was done right there.
Because it's like you could. So what if you have all the other haplogroups, but then you have a R? Does that cancel out everything else?
What do you
Bro,
mean
let me
you
put it this
have
way.
all
There's
You
the
can't
nothing
have more than
wrong.
one.
There's nothing wrong with being there's nothing wrong with being a sojourner, bro. Israel has sojourners in the past. Israel has
Exactly.
sojourners in the future.
But you
Some people
gotta
just
be
gotta be
humble.
humble and just be a
Right.
sojourner.
Got you.
Be
Gotta
part
be
of the mixed
humble.
multitude. All right.
Got you. All right, brothers. Y'all have a good one.
All right, shalom.
All right. Shalom, shalom.
All right, shalom, man.
Are we gonna let more people up, or are we gonna?
Please spare me,
No, we
Yeshua.
missed
I can't.
Adam. Adam was supposed
Please
to put
spare
something
me,
down
Yeshua.
for us. Messing
I
around with
beg
these
you.
people.
Hey,
Messing
Elcon.
around with these people, your man Adam couldn't give us that history, that work that he had on him.
Oh, damn, I forgot. Damn.
He'll
Because
be
he
back.
messing around with these people.
He'll be back.
I forgot.
Call it out, Elkin. Call it out, Elkin.
Adam, if
Hey,
you're still here,
hey,
brother, I'm
hey,
sorry.
Black
Come back up.
Black Hebrew Israelites are using the spiritual Israel argument.
Oh my goodness! I just now realized it.
We spiritually Israel.
Feel it in my bones.
Dang.
Now y'all was getting on the Christian church for doing it. Y'all doing the same thing. Where is Rue when you need him? Oh, there he is.
I was gonna ask him a question. I was gonna ask him like, what is your thoughts on Jewish people believing and feeling that they're, Israel?
Oh, that's a great
But
point. You know
but
he
he
flipped on
he
you, right?
left. Yeah, I want to ask him that
Oh,
because they sure do feel it too. Go on
Yeah, I
Clubhouse.
might say, man, that feeling argument ain't a strong one, man. That's why we started being like, man, we got to come with empirical data, sources, and all that, because feelings don't mean shit.
Mm-hmm. A man can feel like he's a woman. Does that make it true?
You know what I'm saying?
Whole
you
nother
about to get
argument.
our page canceled.
Gotta get us kicked
Hey,
off
for
of
real.
YouTube.
That's a whole
Why
nother
would you say that, Rue?
Hey, we not gonna get canceled because he's authenticating that they can feel that way.
Yeah, they can
Oh.
feel that way.
Israelite History
Oh, that's a
Channel
good
said
point.
DNA is bullshit.
All right, let's stop mess with these people no more. Can we get to some of this video, or at least
Hold
try
on,
to
real
get
quick,
Adam
brother.
back in?
Hold on. He said DNA is bullshit, but people that stand outside with curtains on, yelling at white
With
people,
curtains.
is
He said
sacrosanct.
curtains.
They got those leather curtains on.
Don't forget the spikes.
They got their mama screaming, "Boy, give me back my drapes."
Yeah, you got your mama moo on. Y'all know what the moo is. You got your mama.
Explain to me.
Everything they say is copacetic and right? But the DNA that flows through your genes, that flows through your body, that every one of your cells has a copy of, that's going to make a child one day, or if you probably have made children, that means nothing. See how silly and indoctrinated you guys are.
Quartet jab. I'm saying that right. Quartet jab. No, DNA won't get you into the kingdom. It won't. It's your heart. It's how you operate. If you operating under the law, how you govern your life, and who you believe in get you into the kingdom.
Yeah,
But what
here's the patience of the saints, those who keep faith in Christ and keep the commandments of God.
Hallelujah.
Exactly.
Hallelujah.
Regardless of their DNA.
The question, the real question is, what's wrong with validating what you believe with empirical data and science?
Mm-hmm.
Why are people
Exactly.
afraid?
We've been 100%. We've been doing this because we keep getting people that tell us, "You ain't Israel. African Americans ain't Israel. Y'all ain't Israel." You know what I'm saying? They've been fighting. You see the UA battling against us all the time. The Kemet's, the conscious community, all the time. That's all you've been seeing for the past 8, 9, 10 years on YouTube. That's all you've been seeing. We came up with we're pushing a new way to help further the argument that we are the people. But that's going to exclude some people because we're getting real technical now. We're not just going off of prophecy. We're taking science and we're meshing it to prophecy, and we're showing that there is still a people, even though it might exclude some people, but that doesn't mean the people are excluded from salvation. It doesn't mean you're excluded from salvation. It just means that you're excluded from being able to claim a direct descendancy. Everybody cannot be Israel. Jacob is one man. He would have one Y chromosome. He does not have 5, 6, 7, 8 chromosomes and all these different people. He doesn't have 5, 6, 7, 8 Y chromosomes and all these people with I, J, G, R, E. All of these people cannot descend from the same man. That's not how it works. But if you don't belong to this particular haplogroup, does not mean there is no salvation for you. I don't know how much more plain we got to make it. We continuously say this. Maybe there's some new people up here. Maybe there's some people that we've been battling for a long time here. This is what we've been saying. All we're asking is that y'all take a look at the DNA evidence because it's going to strengthen the argument. Yes, a lot of us don't have haplogroup E. Why? Because of rape, miscegenation, all of these different things. But that does not exclude you from salvation. I land there.
You know, I wonder what the prophet Ronald Dalton would have to say about this. And maybe the aliens gave them the tech to assume all these Y chromosomes.
Oh my God.
Good old prophet, huh?
I'm trying to understand.
You know what this is really showing? People don't want to be sojourners.
Now, you know, because they made it so strict. You know what I'm saying? You are what your father is, and if you don't descend directly from Israel, you going to hell or you going into slavery.
Because
Yep.
some
real.
men in
Anybody
the
who's been
70s wear
Yeah.
motorcycle clothes, look like they're in a motorcycle gang, look like Hell's Angels, told you that. Now, any proof that goes against it is false.
Yeah. And listen,
So the white man.
anybody who has been subjugated in this world don't want to be sojourners. Anybody who's been in control and controlling the narrative, that's been claiming to hold on, that's been claiming to be these people, that's been in the lead, they don't want to be sojourners. Nobody. So it's an even playing field. Nobody wants to be sojourners, but guess what? There's going to be some sojourners, and there's a whole lot of y'all that's going to be sojourners. It could even be us. We could be wrong.
Hey, man, I'm worried that some of these niggas might commit suicide.
Oh my
God!
Yeah, you know, not just
Hey,
just our own.
nah. That's real talk. Me and Elcom watched the dude put down the Bible because he came back an R marker.
Yeah, see, we don't
Did
want
he become
people
an
to do
atheist
that.
or did he become a Christian?
I think he just walked away.
Yeah, because he
that
ain't
means
Israel.
his faith was in his ethnicity, not in like spirituality or anything.
And that's what we're trying. And hopefully he'll come back to the scriptures, understanding that there's still salvation for him. He doesn't have to believe. You know, people get hurt, man. Church people do it too. They get, you know what I'm saying? They get church hurt. People at camp hurt. They're gonna get hurt. People are the people that control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, be specific, but the people that control the narrative, they getting hurt too. They're struggling with this too. And I'm talking about those J marker people. They're struggling with this.
Everybody's struggling.
Everybody, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody doesn't want to be a sojourner.
Man, look,
From
they need to
outside
just
of
say
Israelite paradigm. It's outside of Afrocentrics. We've discussed this on Garfield channel. Dudes got R, dudes got haplogroup I and stuff, have G, and they be like, I'm African, bro. You are paternally a European, bro. Like you gotta tap into that history, man.
It ain't like European histories. Like some European history is pretty cool.
Yeah, so
like,
next time you watch
Rome,
Troy, that should You watch Troy. That's your peoples, man.
You can finally claim the Roman Empire and the Greek Empire. I mean,
Yeah, y'all like claiming all empires anyway. Y'all the Native Americans 1 week, the next week you the Romans and the Greeks, and you know. Anyway, Mari made a great point. She said to reject DNA is to say your paternity doesn't matter. You can't promote pedigree from your fathers, but refuse to actually acknowledge your literal pedigree. And that's what SICARRI is doing. He's like, oh, you are who your father is, but I'm not going to acknowledge that my father was R1B.
Yeah, your father is, not me though.
Yeah, not me. They don't apply to me.
Bro.
You know, so let me see what else is in here.
There's
if
you check Telegram, there's a lot of interesting. Like I left you shoot some messages of people who said some interesting things you might want to address. I don't know.
All right, let me see. Hold on, y'all. Oh, okay. I'll address that if it come back up, man.
Yeah, I think he left. I think he left a while ago.
Yeah. So what some people don't understand is because they probably got haplogroup R2. First of all, if you have haplogroup R, that doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or you inherently. I don't know why y'all get upset behind this. It's just showing you where your ancestors were, who they were in times past. No one's saying that you're the devil or something. I think it's something within y'all because you guys been teaching they're the devil. Now you find out you connected to them. You know, now you're messed up. You know, now you're in a quagmire, right? All right.
Teaching that they're descendants of Neanderthal, Nephilim, and now you find out that they have their haplogroup. That's what I'll be trying to tell y'all. Stop that Neanderthal, Nephilim type stuff because white folks ain't subhuman. They're just regular folks.
They mad because they got to go with their own definitions now. Yup, you now are Junior Serpent. Junior Serpent. You have to.
Y'all servants now, according to y'all.
Yeah,
y'all servants. You're gonna be servants in the kingdom, man. Yeah, some people, I don't know if Ngozi said that, but some people do say, oh, well, haplogroups only less than 1%. Yes, it don't matter how much percentage does it take of your genome. It's the utilization.
It's not 1% of DNA.
It's the utility. Yeah, it's the utility. The utility of it shows you who you directly descend from on the paternal and maternal side, which is more telling than the autosomal DNA, which only stretches back 300, 500 tops. Yeah, higher be praised. I agree. This is why false doctrine is so dangerous.
We're gonna have to reprogram people, our family. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. I've seen you. Oh no, you. We're gonna have to. What? This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to reprogram people to think independently. You know, without this mob mentality, this camp mentality, and not all camps is bad. I'm not, before I want to be careful of my words. I'm not saying that because, like Yeshua was saying earlier, if you belong to a camp and y'all still got the same doctrine from 40, 50 years ago, there's a problem. There's a problem because, as time moves forward, the knowledge increases. And you might have to address some of your doctrine. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you move forward. And you.
I want to answer this on the stream before I get into this source.
So why are the white Israelis so against the idea of us being related to them? Not all of them actually are. You can find some white Israelis that are okay with black people being Israel. Ru can go into that. He'll know better than me. You want to go into that, Ru?
What's the question? I got distracted by Muck in the chat saying a bunch of white worshiping Negroes.
Oh my goodness! But The person
What's the
says, "So
question?
why are white Israelis so against the idea of us being related to them?" And I was just explaining, how some white people are actually okay with us being Israelites, but you would know better than me because you're around them.
Yeah, it's a lot of
That's
racist people.
That's a nuance of thing. Like, if you're talking about Israelis, you're talking about 80% of the Israeli community is secular. Then the rest of them are religious, and then there's only a few of them that actually understand the religion that they're practicing. So you can't really use a brushstroke statement like that, because there are some in the Orthodox community that clearly understand that we're related to them and that they're actually reaching out and trying to work with us. So to say that they're against the idea of us being related to them is it's an overstatement. Yeah, there's some people who are racist, because in every group there's racists. Literally, Muck Muck is a racist. He's probably black, and he hates the fact that we're okay with white people. That's racist.
Yep. A lot of you black Hebrew Israelites are racist, man. It's just that simple.
Yeah, they're no different than their counterparts on the white side. They're no different.
WHI and BHI.
Well, let's not forget the LHIs.
Well, don't they get it from their daddy?
Well, hey, you know what?
Hey, sorry, going for the juggler
Hey.
tonight. She going for the juggler tonight.
No, but that's where she just chin checked somebody right there with that one. She just chin checked somebody, because she's 100% right. Guerilla Hebrew running around saying spewing this hate, and he comes from a line of haters.
Yeah, I mean, just like majority of black Hebrew Israelites are racist, hateful people, that doesn't speak for all of them.
I would say this is accurate, though, because only a few would actually understand that the entire scheme. Most people are just in their own little world. They're not really about black Hebrews or people who went into sub-Saharan Africa. They're clueless to the idea. So to expect them to be welcoming to it is ridiculous. That'd be like, just imagine that the roles were reversed and Ashkenazi Jews were taken into slavery into West Africa. And they're sitting there trying to say, hey, we're related to you. And we're like, huh? Look at you. It's the same thing. Like we both have this inherent, idea that just because somebody looks like you, they're related to you. They're closer related to you. And it's just not true. It's a false idea. So, being able to communicate that to people, it'll go a long way in opening up the communication pathways between us.
And this is why people, black people in general, get caught up and wonder why they get hoodwinked by their own people. They wonder why there's the Boule Society. They wonder why all of these things keep happening. You black, you're supposed to be like, no, everybody, some people know who the hell they descend from. And they get in line. No different than, during the Maccabean days with the Hellenistic Jews. And they're having babies across the board. Some of these people know who they descend from. And some of these people know who they're going to give their allegiance to. So this is how you get duped when you find a Afrocentric, and they saying they could do this for you and they could do that, and we need to pool our money together and this, that, and third, and you go and invest with them and they run off with your money. They do it like their daddy did.
Man, stunning like my daddy.
You know what I'm saying? They do
I'm
it
just
with their
stunning like my
forefathers.
daddy. Stunning like my daddy.
That snake oil, you know what I'm saying? That snake oil, they selling that snake oil out the back of the coach. You know what I'm saying? They selling that snake oil out the back of the coach. And y'all falling for it because they look like you. And they talking to you and they giving you this smooth talk. They giving you this smooth talk. You know what I'm saying?
They said the church. They used to get on the church. The church give you that feel good message. Actually, black Hebrew Israelites do that. Oh, you are the chosen, like, and all this other shit, man. And you guys
look
come
at
back.
Creflo Dollar after taking all these millions and millions of dollars over the years from people, he asking for forgiveness because he was wrong about tithing. But ask him if he gonna give $1 back. This is how the snake oilsmen trick y'all. Y'all keep thinking
Telegram
they
you, shoot.
Y'all keep thinking they belong to you. They don't belong to you.
Yeah, I'm peeping it, man. I'm circumspect. I know what's going on. Anyway, let me read this real quick. Somebody made a comment. I didn't lost track of time, but he made a comment pretty much talking about skin color, right? And how certain people are skin color. And this also touches on what Guerilla Hebrew and I forget what the other brother's name. I met both of them in real life, but I can't think of the other brother's name. They said something.
Assad.
Yeah. So thank you. They said something to the effect of how could there be black and white people sharing the same haplogroup? And again, phenotype is not your ancestry. You get phenotype through your autosomes. You can inherit phenotypes. Excuse me. What do you call it? Horizontally, you can do that through admixture. So that's not really a hard thing to see. And the ironic thing is two brothers that are very, very light skin complected.
No, they don't even look black to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And y'all making that claim. How could there be white in, bruh? Let's educate you real quick. So this is the genetics of an African population in health and disease by Ibrahim Muntazer and others. Ibrahim Muntazer is a Sudanese geneticist. And he wrote a very interesting book, and he breaks down some of the information on DNA. It says haplogroup R1VA8, normally associated with Europe and the Near East, is found in high frequency in Central South Sahara / Sahel among Chadic speakers. Because he brings up the Chadic speakers, and we're gonna do a detailed breakdown of his video tomorrow. Well, he brings up Chadic speakers, right? This lineage likely came to Africa in a back to Africa migration. So what these people don't understand is people migrate. Just because you see certain R markers or Eurasian markers in Africa does not mean they originate in Africa, right? It says its age is older than the Chadic language family. It is not a marker of that family's emergence or movement, which is an example of the layering of population effects. There's an irony associated with the R1 presence in these Chadic speakers that bears pointing out. There was resistance by some scholars to the Chadic family being a member of the Afroasiatic based on the external phenotype of its speakers, a stereotypical African variant. The fact that this particular population of Afroasiatic speakers, although the samples are limited, usually has a higher frequency of a European Asian lineage than Berber speakers. What do they call the RVA? A European / Asian lineage than Berber speakers. More northern coastal peoples is the kind of new thing that Pliny was speaking about. It is indeed ironic that those with what can be called the stereotype African facial morphology in very dark skin are precisely those with the European haplogroup, right? It says, while others who phenotypically more resemble Europeans are often predominantly of the E haplogroup. He makes mentions of this. So how can Albert Einstein be E? Albert Einstein shares paternal ancestors with us. You don't. It doesn't matter how he looks. It doesn't matter about the phenotype. That does not show you ancestry. Your haplogroups do.
So basically, R1B in West Africa is not African. It's from Europe.
Exactly. Let's see who just tried to jump in here. Oh, James is back. I didn't even know he left. All right, so anything you guys want to address?
Did you want to let people up speak again, or start the video, or what? What's up? What y'all want to do?
Hey, Muck, jump in the chat, man. We want Muck. I'm calling Muck to the chat, to the panel. I mean,
what's he been saying? Because I haven't been looking at the chat.
Muck has been outlandish, man.
He been running the muck.
He been running amok. He been running amok, man.
Yeah, Yeshua, I want to know when you gonna be handing out them preschool ABC packets, because people mixing up R for E, A, B, C. I'm not I'm confused.
It looks like I need to hurry up with that, right?
Dude, you gonna be up late?
You gonna charge people, or is it gonna be for free?
I might have to do it for free because if I
Oh,
charge
come on.
people, they're gonna
That's
find that's gonna be an excuse not to do it.
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
If it's for free, they gonna say it's worthless. That's why you giving it away for free.
Asiatic lion. It says what it says. It said Europe/Asian. RV88. Matter of fact, Asiatic lion. This is gonna be for you. Let me do this real quick. Avery, cover for me real quick. I'm gonna pull this article
We
up.
can
The
put
oldest.
the link in as well for him if he wants to come up and speak. If he feels like it.
I dropped it.
But yeah, RV88 that's from the Mediterranean Europe. It's not African. It's not West African. It's not Central African. It's not Sub-Saharan African. It came
I
into
think
that
they
land.
trying to run
Yeah,
with the
where did he
fact
get
that
that from?
they
I'd
got.
like to see. I'm sorry, go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I
It's
was
the
just saying, I
Chadic.
think they trying to run with the fact that they speak an Afro-Asiatic language like Guerilla Hebrew was kind of pushing.
Teo said the same thing too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it comes
doesn't-
from that paper with the spread of the maternal L3F2 with the spread of the Afroasiatic branch Chadic. Some papers postulate that RV88 helped with the spread of that. It's akin to what happened with JP58, how it adopted and helped spread the Semitic. Like
Exactly.
RV88 did that with the Chadic branch in the Chadic region.
Exactly. RV88 was in North Africa with the Amazigh peoples, and they adopted the Amazigh language.
Excellent
with King Tut.
explanation, sis.
All right, we got Michael Smith. Michael Smith, are you there?
Yes, shalom, everyone. Shalom to the chat.
Shalom,
And we
brother.
got Afroasiatic 19 in the building.
Shalom, shalom, family.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Yes, I noticed, you guys are primarily focusing on the One West, but is this something that you guys are addressing all Israelites? Because, there's different types. I don't know if you even know the history of One West.
Yeah, we address Teo Ministries. They're like a moderate Christian type of Hebrew Israelite.
Oh,
Ron
okay. So
Dalton.
what would
Ron
you consider
Dalton as well.
yourselves?
Yeah, Ron Dalton. Yeah.
Yeah, what would you consider yourselves as far as your
I'm not part of any
ancestors'
camp, so
nationality?
I'm Israelite.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
it.
just Israelite.
I-
man.
I'm
Okay,
Israelite.
Israelite. Okay, all right.
I'm a North African Israelite.
So I know, a lot of Israelites, they claim Israelite by nationality, but in religious practice, theologically, or their doctrines are more so Christian. Would you agree?
Some.
Yeah, there are many denominations within the Hebrew Israelite movement. The beauty about Yap Gang is that you could consider us to be non-denominational, which means none of us deal with doctrine per se like that as a group.
Would
Fact.
you all consider yourselves Christian, practicing Christianity?
No.
No,
Define
but
Christianity.
we do. Well, right. Well, hold
some
on.
would.
Let me say
but I
this real quick.
appreciate
Everybody will speak for themselves, which
Absolutely.
is cool because as we're not a monolith here, you know what I mean. We accept, like one of our brothers. He's up here now. He's practicing to be learning to be a rabbi. He's in school now. He's been doing excellent. The rest of us, and also, if I'm not mistaken, he'll tell you himself, but I'd rather him speak for himself. We all do see Yeshua as the door. So, I mean, if you're saying Christian, I wouldn't call myself a Christian. I'm an Israelite. I would consider myself the same things as the apostles did. They
Right,
was
but
Israelite.
Israelite is your nationality, correct?
It's also a bloodline, wouldn't it be?
Right,
You
but
explain to me.
well, Okay, what I'm saying is that Christian is not your bloodline or nationality.
Right.
Okay. So in practice, in doctrine and teachings and belief, you do follow Christ, right?
Yes, I follow Yeshua.
Okay, you believe in him?
Yes.
You trust him for salvation?
Yes.
And many worship him, is that correct?
Is this an interrogation or something?
I'm trying to.
No, brother,
This show,
okay,
this show
all right.
not
The
about
brother asked a
theology, brother.
question.
Hold on,
Okay,
real quick.
hold
Hold
on.
on. We're not making this about
Oh.
theology. Just stick with
No,
the
no.
topic,
The brother
brother.
asked a question, and that's a legitimate question, and the answer is found in 1 Peter 3:15. You don't have a problem with that text, do you?
No, we don't have a problem with any of the.
No, I'm saying the brother that
New
spoke.
Testament.
The brother that
Oh,
spoke.
okay.
I'm addressing him.
All right, hold on. This is what we're gonna do, bro. We're not doing scriptures. We're not doing theology, bro. This show not about that, brother. So, do you have a question, a statement, a comment on today's show in regards to DNA, heredity, or something to that effect?
Yeah, Guerilla Hebrew, the title of the YouTube channel.
Well, as far as the DNA, the Israelites don't, go by DNA, do they?
Yeah, they do.
So,
Well,
hold on. The brother said they do. So,
Yes, we do.
Where do they teach that you're Israelite based on your DNA?
Genesis
never heard
chapter
of that.
10, Genesis chapter 11, all the genealogies dealing with people going back to other people. That's
Correct.
No, I'm saying based upon
Genesis.
DNA. Brother, you know what I'm talking about, brother.
Call
That
it
is
DNA.
DNA.
That's
Okay,
not
Trying to
okay.
mix the bag. Hold on, bro. You're trying to mix
Okay,
the
brother.
bag. Bro, you're trying to mix
No,
the bag.
No.
DNA, bloodline descendancy is DNA. Bloodline
Exactly.
descendancy is genetics.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're
Okay,
trying to do
but
right now. Bloodline.
I'm not trying to do
saying
anything,
that
brother.
you're
You got
Israelite,
millions
bro,
of
if you're an Israelite
you.
and you're even
No,
if
brother, you
you're
got
Israelite,
millions of Israelites who declare themselves to be Israelite, not based on DNA. So why are you saying
well,
I'm
then they're
saying something
national.
new?
Well, I would say that they're national Israelites. They're not bloodline, and it's okay to be a national Israelite. It's okay to latch on and cleave on.
No, but what I'm saying is that
I don't understand outside of that.
Okay, but listen
I
to
don't
what I'm saying,
understand
brother.
outside of that.
And people are listening. Listen to what I'm saying here. Others are listening. What have we used in the past
But that wasn't
to
what you asked,
identify
brother.
us as
You moving-
Israelites?
You're moving the
Genealogy.
goalpost.
Genealogy,
brother.
The
bloodline.
initial question was,
Okay, so
Are there-
We can't
we
really
have
hear
Hold
not
on,
used.
Michael.
your
Hold on,
mic.
So
Michael.
we have not used
Michael.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 in
Michael,
the
no,
past
we
at
don't.
all.
Michael,
You
real
telling me
quick.
that?
Hold on. James is trying to talk real quick. Let James speak. Go ahead, James.
Yeah,
The floor is
yeah,
yours.
his initial question was, are there Israelites who use DNA?
You need to fix your mic, James, a little bit more.
Can you hear me better now? My
Who's-
battery kind of low. It'd be messing up.
Yeah, it's
I think
breaking
that's-
up
I
bad.
think that's
All
why.
right, cool.
Try to.
His initial question was, are there Israelites who use DNA?
Whose
said
question?
yes,
That
because
wasn't my question.
Yeah, you
Yes,
made a
it
statement,
was.
brother.
It was your
No,
question.
that was not my question.
Bro,
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Okay, but hold on, bro. Let me talk. Listen to me. Now, we've been in this Israelite movement. Some of us were Israelites before YouTube. And on to YouTube, we've always used
That wasn't your question.
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Nah.
Now, you're
How
saying
long-
that now you're
No,
going
I agree with him. No, I have to agree with him because I've been an Israelite. I don't know how long you've been an Israelite. I've been an Israelite for about 25 years.
Since 92.
All right, so I've been an Israelite for about 25 years. So yeah, you're right. Before we started dealing with DNA, we talk about nowadays. So I understand where you're coming from with that. All right.
Yeah, that's all.
Abu asked
But
the
then,
question.
but then
Go
I
ahead,
also touched on the question too, to show that through One West, the same camps that you're talking about, right? There's GMS leader Tahar testified that the leaders sold out, meaning that organization is a tool, a decoy in the hands of the Roman Catholic Church to place us back into Christianity. See, when you talk about you follow Christ and believe in Christ and
Are you
worship
Old
Christ,
Torah? Are you Old Testament only, brother?
no, but we're talking about Christianity right now.
All right, but I'm
Right?
asking
You're
you,
saying
are
that
you
you,
Old Testament
oh, but
only?
now,
Yeah,
you're
why
cutting me
you
off in the midst of
lying,
my
bro?
speech.
We're
Yeah,
not talking
Why
about
you
nothing
lying,
here.
bro? Don't
You're
get
cutting
up
me
here and
off in the
start
midst of my
lying
speech.
now.
Okay.
Am I saying
So look,
anything incorrect?
well,
Am I
you
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 are.
saying
are
You are.
anything
Hold
incorrect?
on,
trolling,
shine,
bro.
shine, shine, real quick.
we're gonna segue. We need to
You're
segue from
very,
this.
very, very, I hear a lot of people talking. Listen.
All right, so we're gonna segue. No, you listen. We're gonna segue
No,
from
but
this right
listen,
now
hold on, you're going to
because we're not
interrupt me
doing
in
a
my speech.
theological, bruh. We're not doing it. We're not doing a
I'm sorry,
theological.
bro. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. I
Thank
got
you.
to put you in the back, man. We're not making this show into a show about Christianity and all that. This is not this show. All right. I mean, go to another Black Hebrew,
Shalom, family.
go to a Black
Shalom,
Hebrew
bro.
Israelite platform, and you go talk to them about Deuteronomy 28:6. We don't do that here. I don't break down Deuteronomy 28:68 and say that's end all be all. I'm sorry to disappoint you that I don't do that here. We talk about DNA, genetics, heredity. That's why I was trying to steer you in the right path, man. I'm gonna bring you back up here, but I want to deal with Asiatic line real quick, man.
Yeah, peace, shalom, fam.
Shalom.
Shalom, bro.
Shalom.
Shalom, Asiatic.
Shalom.
Shalom, brother Zaya. Yeah, I wanted to, I don't disagree with what y'all was saying about the brother with the 269, but I wanted to show the source, for the people that shows, the elder branches of R1B that were classified as Afro Eurasian, even though they were Eurasian. The true term for Eurasian in the older studies are Afro Eurasian, and I just wanted to make, so my position could be clear and it's based in, the research. I'm not just making it up, or something like that. Can I show that real quick, fam?
Go ahead, shoot.
All right. Because I think the sister as well had got, had got me kind of mixed up on that right there. I just wanted to be clear on what my position is on it. I'm not uh can you see the screen?
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay. Yeah, this is Chad Genetic Diversity Reveals an African History Marked by Multiple Holocene Eurasian Migrations, litany of different doctors here. I know everyone here is familiar with these different doctors, and in fact the research paper, I'm pretty sure. But it says we estimate the Eurasian R1B lineages
I'm
initially
sorry, bro.
diverged.
Before you start, real quick, what's the year of this paper?
The year on this paper. This is actually from a debate I had. I got the paper on deck too, but I don't have the date on this paper right here.
All right, go ahead.
I'll look it up since he has the title up there. I can type it in.
Yeah, sure, no problem. It says we estimate that the Eurasian R1B lineages initially diverged 7,300 to 9,400 years ago, at the time of the Neolithic expansions. However, we found that the African and Eurasian R1B lineages diverged 17,900 between 17,900 and 23,000 years ago, suggesting that the genetic structure was already established between the groups who expanded to Europe and Africa. R1B V88 was previously found in Central and West Africa and was associated with the mid-Holocene migration of Afro-Asiatic speakers through Central Sahara into Lake Chad Basin. In the populations we examined, we found R1B in Tabul, Sara, who speak Nilo-Saharan languages, and also in La people who speak an unclassified language. This suggests that R1B penetrated Africa independently of Afro-Asiatic languages and spread or passed to other groups through admixture. My interest in here is in the time depth of the split between the R1B and African markers, or the African and Eurasian R1b. So, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that National Geographic tells us that no modern Europeans were on the planet past 6,600 years. So I think there's some nuance and some gray areas that should not be overlooked, because to someone who is not familiar with the information, they're simply going to think that we are talking about modern Europeans when we talk about R1b, and that is completely false.
Well,
It's not just that. Go ahead, bro.
okay, I'll
By the
say
way,
this. The R1B in mention there is R1B. That's V88.
B88,
That
the
is
challenge.
specific to being found in Africa, but Guerilla Hebrew is not from that subclade of R1B. He's from the specific subclade that's found in Western Europe.
Correct.
by the
But
way, I found the
But
paper.
also R1B, I sent some maps. I sent some maps to Yeshua. I sent some maps.
correct.
R1B is a part of the FM89 lineages. You know that, right, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that will put them in the Japhetic line. Now,
Well,
I understand that you're looking at the time frame. I understand that you're looking at the time frame. I have no problem with that. I'm just giving you how I see um, this particular study. I don't even know what year this is from,
I
but this.
actually have the paper. When you're done, Sean, I'll
I think it's
pull it up.
2018.
Okay.
Here, I
I
put
have
it
no
up.
problem with R1B picking up language, picking up pastoralism. If you look at a map, on where R1B originated from, I have, for me, R1B followed. This could be as old as going back to Egypt with the mixed multitude. Now, I understand that the dates are out of line from the dates that they're giving us 17,000 years ago to 23,000 years ago. It's out of line, but I try to take these dates in I try to be relative with the dates. I try to deal with the events as opposed to the actual years, because dating could be off. So I guess what I'm trying to get across to you is that, from me, and everybody else can speak for themselves. For me, this could be, V88 could have clinged on to Israel from during the time of captivity in Egypt, or even before that. So I mean, I'm really not seeing
Let me
the
jump in
nuance of
here.
your argument, so I'll leave it at there. Okay.
Let me jump in. All right,
When
so
you're
you
done, you
showed
shoot.
your
I was gonna
information.
pull up the paper when you're done.
I got a paper here. Y'all know how we do here. Now, this is supplementary information, genetic history from the Middle Neolithic, Neo meaning new, lithic meaning stone, new stone, to present on the Mediterranean island of Sardinia. So you can see the geneticists that are involved in this. 2020. This is supplementary information. We're gonna go straight to the meat and potatoes here. Right here, R1B VA8. Says comparisons to present day Sardinia Y haplogroup variation. Says supplementary figure 6 presents an overview of the results. Some caution is required in interpretation as we observe substantial clustering of haplogroups within sample sites, suggesting some sites may not be random samples of this population. That said, overall, there's notable shift from pre-Iron Age to present-day Sardinia. The Sardinian haplogroups I2M26 carried by about 35% present-day Sardinian males and rare elsewhere is found in only one ancient Sardinian sample from the early Middle Bronze Age and one individual from the medieval site. The R1b M269 haplogroup, dominant in present-day continental Iberia, after having arrived there with Bronze Age Indo-European expansion. So this is what we were talking about earlier with Guerilla Hebrew. His descent deals with the M269, right? And that's Yamnaya, Iberian, Bronze Age Indo-European expansion. So I'm actually answering the question where it says proves that the Spaniards have haplogroup R. That just answered your question. Haplogroup R has a long history in Iberia. We keep reading. It says, and at 15% frequency in modern Sardinians, is absent throughout our transact from the Middle Neolithic to the Nuragic in Sardinia, but later appears in the 3 post-Nuragic ancient individuals. So we do see M269 here as well. Similarly, the haplogroup EM215, a major present-day Sardinian haplogroup, 10%, that's prevalent in present-day Northern Africa, was not identified among any of the pre-Iron Age ancient individuals we sampled. However, we also detected signals of partially continuity from pre-Iron Age Sardinia. The Y haplogroup G2L91 and R1b-V88. So R1b-V88 was in pre-Iron Age Sardinia, right? It says which were previously identified to have major Sardinia-specific subclades based on present-day Sardinian variation, were all identified in at least one ancient Sardinian male. R1b haplogroups in ancient Sardinians. The 1240K read capture data allowed us to call several R1b subclades in ancient individuals. While R1b M269 was absent from our sample of ancient Sardinians until the Nuragic period, we detected R1b-V88 equivalent markers in 11 out of 30 ancient Sardinian males from the Middle Neolithic. So they were there during the Middle Stone Age, right? To the Nuragic with Y haplogroup cause. 2 ancient individuals carried derived marker of the clade R, but we could not identify more refined subclades due to the very low coverage. The ancient geographic distribution of R1b-V88 haplogroups is particularly concentrated in the Swallow Cave sites in the south of the island. At present, R1b-V88 is prevalent in Central Africans at low frequency in present-day Sardinians and extremely rare in the rest of Europe. By inspecting our reference panel of Western Eurasian ancient individuals, we identified R1b-V88 markers in 10 mainland European ancient samples, all dating to before the steppe expansion, that's greater than 3,000 years BCE. 2 very basal R1b-V88, meaning basal, meaning at the base of the tree, the beginning of R1b-V88, with several markers still in the ancestral state, appear in the Serbian haplogroups as old as 9,000 BCE, which supports a Mesolithic origin of R1b-V88, Mesolithic, Meso meaning middle, lit stone, middle stone origin of the R1b-V88 clade in or near this broad region. This haplotype appears to have become associated with the Mediterranean Neolithic expansion, as it is absent in the early and middle Neolithic. The next part of the paragraph, Neolithic Central Europe, but found an individual buried in the El Trox site in the Pyrenees, modern Aragon, Spain. Answering your question again in the chat, R1b in Spain, dated to about 5,178 to 5,066 BC in 11 ancient Sardinians of our sample. Interestingly, markers of R1b-V88 subclade R1b-V2197, which is at present day found in Sardinians and most African R1b-V88 carriers, are derived only in Els Trox individual and 2 ancient Sardinian individuals. And it says additionally carries derived marker R1b-V2197, subclade R1b-V35, which is present day almost exclusively found in Sardinians. This configuration suggests that the V88 branch first appeared in Eastern Europe, mixed into early European farmer individuals after putatively sex-biased admixture, and then spread with early European farmers to the Western Mediterranean. Individuals carrying an apparently basal V88 haplotype in Mesolithic Balkans and across Neolithic Europe provide evidence against the previously suggested Central West African origin of V88. A West Eurasian R1b-VA8 origin is further supported by the recent phylogenetic analysis that puts modern Sardinian carrier haplotype basal to the African R1b-VA8 haplotypes. The putative correlation times between Sardinian and African branches inferred there fall into the Neolithic subpluvial, Green Sahara, about 7 to 3,000 years BCE. Previous observations of autosomal traces of Holocene admixture with Eurasians for several Chanic populations provide further support for speculative hypothesis that at least some amounts of early European former ancestry crossed the Sahara southwards. And then also Garfield said on his show that how were they able to cross the Sahara in ancient times? VA88 did it. The ancestors of the Chadic people did it.
You sure did.
E1B1A did it.
Yeah, he don't want to have that conversation.
So RV88 shows up all the way in Fang, in the Fang tribe in West Africa and Cameroon too.
Right.
So
They came from Europe though.
That's cool, no doubt. My interest is is the time depth.
Let me finish this, brother. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says genetic analysis of Neolithic human remains in the Sahara from the Neolithic subpluvial will provide key insights into the timing and specific routes R1b VA8 into Africa, and whether this haplogroup was associated with a maritime wave of cardial Neolithic along Western Mediterranean coast and subsequent movement across the Sahara. Overall, our analysis provides evidence that R1b VA8 traces back to Eastern European Mesolithic hunter-gatherers and later spread with the Neolithic expansion into Iberia. That answers the question again on the screen. Iberia, that's Spain, and Sardinia. These results emphasize that the geographic history of Y chromosome haplotype can be complex, and modern-day spatial distribution needs not reflect the initial spread. What does that mean? I hope you're watching, Guerilla Hebrew. Modern day spatial distribution need not reflect the initial spread. So you're seeing a lot of R markers in Africa, but that doesn't tell you the initial spread and when they arose. All right. So again, this paper is the supplementary information of genetic history from the Middle Neolithic to the present on the Mediterranean island of Sardinia. All right. So go ahead, Asiatic line.
Well, before it goes really quick, I have a paper I wanted to show. I'm sharing my screen. This was from his paper, actually. Let me see, where is it? Chad Genetic Diversity Reveals an African History Marked by Multiple Holocene Eurasian Migrations. And this goes back to 2000, shows right here, 2016. And Asiatic line, the part that you was reading from here on down in the abstract. This was the section that you had, but actually, if you go back a little bit further, it kind of mentions the people group and the time period in which this was all happening. So if you go right here, it says, we found evidence of early Eurasian backflow to Africa and people speaking the unclassified, isolated, I'm just going to say Laglao language in southern Chad, and estimate the linkage disequilibrium decay that they occurred 4,750 through 7,200 years ago. It brought to Africa a Y chromosome lineage, RV88, whose closest relatives are widespread in present-day Eurasia. So this part right here is very, very important. It was early Eurasians, and most of their relatives are in present-day Eurasia.
That is correct. Yeah, I didn't have any issue with that. I thought I actually read that part earlier.
Yeah,
but
that part was,
yeah, but what my interest is somewhat in complexion because of the simple fact that people paint, most people paint with a broad brush. When they hear Eurasian, they automatically believe that it's talking about the modern European, but a lot of times it's not. Actually, the scientists that write these papers, they change the nomenclature. The original nomenclature was Afro-Eurasian. they dropped the term Afro and simply started using the term Eurasian. And I think that confuses a lot of people, especially for young people that are coming in and just beginning to read these types of studies. They got to be
Why do you
able to
think
make
they
that
changed that
distinction.
though, brother?
Well, the reason I think
If
they
it,
changed it, I
yeah,
think
why
they
do you think
wanted to. I think they wanted to hide somewhat the fact that Europe was actually basically Afro Europe before the Europe that we see today.
Do
Prior
you
to
have a paper saying Afro-Asian for haplogroup R? I never read
uh,
that before.
I don't have a paper. I don't believe saying Afro Eurasian
or
for
article, any kind of article? But I understand where you're
oh
coming
yeah, I
from.
got plenty
I can
plenty of
understand.
articles. Mhm.
Yeah, I can understand your concern about that.
Yeah.
Um, I happen to think that the original Europeans were of darker hue.
Yes.
That's true. They were
As the
dark skinned, but
planet,
they genetic.
as the whole planet was at one point. So this is why you have Europeans calling them Afro-Asiatic at one point.
Mhm.
This is why I believe that they were saying that because, well, if these people were dark skinned, they had to come out of Africa first, right?
And bro, not to cut you off,
Africa
I,
theory.
I'm not caping for Guerilla Hebrew at all. You know, I don't know the
No, I
brother. I
know you're
don't
not.
dislike. Yeah, okay. I just want that to be clear. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
No. I know you're not. I can tell by your argument that you're not. You're just you have, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to bring something to light, like you said, for the youth.
Thank
And
you,
if
brother.
it's an out of Africa, if it's an out of Africa theory, then it would be and the Europeans came from Africans, then they would be Afro Asians, like you said, right? Um, I believe that that term was probably used because uh, they knew that most of Europe was dark skinned at one time. Maybe even coming out of and I'm not saying that I'm correct. I'm just saying, just using logic, as Europeans, as light skinned Europeans writing these papers, if I'm pulling up R1B, I'm pulling up J, old J, I'm seeing these studies and I'm seeing their genome, and I'm seeing the SLC was it 24A5 coming up all of a sudden, and that's where the light skin is coming from. Prior to that, they were dark skin. Well, I'm, as a European, I'm saying, okay, well, these people were dark skin first. So I think that's more what it was. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just going off of logic from reading these papers and maybe having a little bit more understanding of maybe where they might have been coming from, why they
I
would have did
agree.
that, and why now they're changing up, their stance on it. They're just saying, you know what, these people, even though they were dark skinned, they were just plain Europeans. They were just dark skinned.
I do got to say this though, really quick though. When it
Go ahead,
comes to
bro.
these R1Bs coming into Africa, they likely would have been light skinned. Like on the screen that you see, it says they entered 4,750 through 7,200 years ago. People were light skinned around that time because light skin is only 8,000 years old. So those RV88s likely would have been light skinned, and also genetically, these R1Bs would not have been Nigerian or African. They would have been genetically
Hmm.
Eurasian. And it even says it in the paper right here that these populations with the R1Bs, it says who have 20% to 30% Eurasian ancestry today. Like
Yeah,
these were a foreign population,
they're
Eurasian, as in
definitely.
these would have been excuse me, not African. These would have been like a European type people
Yeah, they're
with white skin.
definitely genetically and geographically in their origin is definitely outside of Africa. It's definitely in Asia. But we do have examples. You know, we looked at it a little while ago. We looked at King Tut. We looked at Amenhotep III, and I think it was maybe one more individual in the line of the royal line of the 18th dynasty. They are definitely phenotypically indistinguishable from Africans. Amenhotep III, uh, Akhenaten, and King Tut, they are phenotypically indistinguishable, and they carry the R1B lineages. You know, I'm not at all caping for Guerilla Hebrew. I understand that 269 is a different variant, sub haplogroup from what we're talking about right here, right now. But this,
Right,
what we're
right.
discussing now, is older, and it was highly melanated, and it's on the Egyptian throne. So we do have, live examples. Well, not live, but depictions of
Yeah,
it.
well, we don't have a problem with that because we know. Well, I remember your name, your handle from a lot of the rooms that we've had, or a lot of lives that we have. You've been in the chat, so I know you've been around. So you know that we have a full understanding that Egypt would have had amalgamation of different haplotypes. But I would say this also. You have to remember that. Well, I would say that for myself, how I distinguish these groups and how maybe these geneticists has started really angling into changing how they categorize these different haplogroups is that even though RV88 may be in Chad, in Africa or West Africa and it's older, they're still not yet positive. So it'll make them Eurasian as opposed to Afro-Asiatic or Afro-Asian.
They're not
You
related
get where
to
I'm
us.
coming from, brother?
Basically, they're not related to us.
Right. So
How
you get
can
what
you how can you say that with definitively though that they're
they're
not
not yet
related?
positive because they would
That's
say that they was yet positive. R is not yet positive.
R is its own branch. E is its own branch. That's why they're
I,
Right.
not related.
R comes from FM89. R comes from FM89 lineage, which is from the CF line, which
I'm
is where creationists have made it clear that they believe that it is Japhetic.
okay. So my question with that then would be: is D related to E?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
D
yet
is yeah
positive.
So
positive.
D and E were together.
right. So if we know that there is a progression in the sequences and in the haplogroups, so A, B, C, D, E, it flows. So
I'm
it's
not sure.
definitely
Don't
relation.
do a TO. Don't do a Teo on me
I don't know
on
Teo.
the non-intelligence. Don't
I
do a
don't know.
Teo on me.
I don't know Teo, but
But go ahead.
when we say so definitively that they're not related to, they peacefully coexist in the Sahel
Well,
right
that
now.
doesn't mean I could peacefully coexist with a person that's not part of my family today, right? You know what I'm saying? I could live right now in a subdivision in the suburbs with whites, blacks, Indians, and we all, even though we're all of different ethnicities, we might vote as a block, right? In our local politics because of school taxes, because of so we're operating as a family. You get what I'm saying to you, brother? Like
Yeah.
And
if
them
I'm
African
living in
groups do be
if I'm
fighting each
living
other
if I'm
too,
living
by
in
the
a
way.
certain area, like and I'm saying this because I live in a certain area now. I'm from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? I'm from East New York, Brooklyn, but I made some moves. So, where I'm living, I got people that have different, that come from different backgrounds, but our local politics, we move as a family because it affects our taxes, it affects our water, it affects, law enforcement, our municipality, it affects everything that goes on here. So we operate as a family, in the sense of we're not necessarily family, but we're moving as a block. You get what I'm saying? So we might not always move Democratic. We might move, because somebody is Republican and they're running, but they saying the things we want to hear, and we know that they probably will handle things in a certain way. We might move that way. You understand what I'm saying? We move as a block, back and forth. So I get what you're
Mhm.
saying, and just because somebody moved with you doesn't mean that they're all right. So let's say this R1B has you might find these R1B, these V88s, right, with a lot of L markers, right, mitochondrially, right? Why?
Yes.
Because they was around us. They was
Right.
around else. They was around. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So even though their haplogroup on the father's side stays non-yap, they still was around, our women, and they interbred, they married our women, and we allowed them to. Why? Because they followed and they practiced our way of life. That makes sense to you, bro?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I yield. Go ahead, Avery.
Oh no, I don't have anything unless you Shub or James or somebody else want to say something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just like to say, you should probably look into the Y DNA consortium, the Y chromosome consortium, and how they assign the letters to the haplogroups and how that goes. Because just because it goes A, B, C, D, E doesn't it's not necessarily like that. They all go back to one Y chromosome atom, but that's as far as related as you get.
Hmm. Yeah, but just like recently, a lot of the CT haplogroups have been changed to E. Is anyone else here aware of that?
Those are just CT is just a placeholder. Like when it came to the Natufians, 2 of them were CT. That's because the scientists at the moment were still testing the bodies.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So it's truth to that because they're recalibrating. Based on different population movements. That they recalibrated what was called the CT, which we know was that dominated northern Africa and supposedly went out and was the outer Africa atom, but now that's been reclassified to E. In recent studies. So it's definitely going to be recalibrated and different groups are going to be switched around. I wasn't trying to just spit it out as a nursery rhyme, but that's the sequence. But thanks.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right, bro. You're doing all right with your studies. You're doing all right with reading the papers. You're not, what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna sit here and say that you're, like you're totally off or anything. You're doing pretty good. So,
Much
I would say just
appreciated.
keep reading, bro. Keep reading,
Yes, sir.
And there's nuance with everything that we do. So always have an open mind.
Yes, sir. But thank you. Appreciate it. Big respect. Shalom family. Thank you for letting me
Yeah.
share.
Shalom, shalom.
Thanks for coming through.
D-Red.
Where that nigga at? Where you at?
D-Red.
Red, where you at, dude? Your red ass. Where you at?
What's up?
I want you to chime in on the Guerilla Hebrew.
What's up?
You hear me? Can you hear me, D-Red? I guess he can't hear me.
Man,
Red on that crane. Red on that crane. He getting that bread. Red on that crane.
Man, shit. I mean, there go white boy. It's just what it is.
Hey, Red.
Hey,
You ain't get no nuance to it or
Red
nothing,
the
bro.
show,
You just
it
went
would have
straight
ended
in.
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you just went straight in. You ain't even give no nuance or nothing.
It really ain't nothing else to say, really. I mean, his haplogroup speaks for itself. I mean, yeah, could he have gotten that from a? Nah, I was trying to give him some space, but by saying he probably could have got it from a
Fulani?
yeah, something like that.
Leave my Fulani out of this.
So if he was V88, you would have thought a little different about, calling him a white boy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to give him any leeway though. It's hard. It's a slight possibility, but it's slim to none, man. So
He could be a R1A. Because he never actually said which subclade of R he was. He just said he was R. And he talked a lot about R1B, but he never actually said he was R1B.
Nah, he R1B, man. That dude
watch. He's going to be R1A. He's going to be an Indo-Iranian.
I doubt that. The M269.
yeah, man. So I don't know, man. It's fucked up. I mean, it's fucked. I mean, it's the irony of the shit because he said he wanted to kill he could kill his mama, so I guess he got to kill his daddy too. So it's just,
oh man, this nigga.
I just thought the irony of the shit, it was kind of funny, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he and I used to chop it up with him. He a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of his Ablo group got to put him in a trick bag right now. So in a trick bag, a big one.
He called it
Because
a
you're not,
trick bag. I
because
hear that.
you're not an Israelite at all. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's crazy.
at all, my G. So hey,
What if you say? What if you
maybe he
say?
can join. Maybe he can join. What's that little Puerto Rican dude name?
Ancient
Faithful?
Watchman.
Oh, Ancient Watchman.
What's the little Puerto Rican dude name? That be debate that can't debate.
Jose Reyes.
Yeah,
What? Yeah.
one of them. You know what I'm saying? He could
Follow
join
that
that little
dude in
dude with the
politics.
glasses. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
you
The
talking
dude with
about
the glasses.
EMAC? You talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he R1B2
Yeah,
EMAC.
maybe him and Emac can start their own little shit. You know what I'm saying? The Immaculates or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. So yeah. I wonder what this camp gonna do. Are they gonna fold up or what?
No, they standing behind him. They said, "Listen, we ain't going
Man.
by DNA. That's the white man science." The irony coming from a descendant of the white man, talk about the white man science.
Yeah, man. You know, they
And
whole
everybody
argument.
over there ain't odd. I'm sure, in SICARRI, everybody ain't odd. You got some J's, some I's, some E's, some G's. You got a little bit of everything. You got some alphabet soup over there, and the brothers with E, should be grabbing the wheel right now. Who got the keys to the car?
Hey, that boy.
You know where they all hanging out at?
Where they hanging out at?
Georgia.
Hey, yeah, they did spend some time in the Caucasus. God damn, man. Look, let me say this, man. Look, bro, ain't nothing wrong with them being, having a haplogroup, but he gotta come to, reality. Because D-Ray, what you think about this? They said it's not about your DNA. It's about if the spirit beareth witness. How would you respond to that, brother?
Well, I mean, the spirit bear witness that he had, he liked to dwell in dark places all the times that them niggas was at the strip club. So the spirit bear witness that them niggas like titties. So at this particular point, I can't say nothing about their spirit, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Niggas be leaning on shit you can't qualify, quantify. So you can't qualify that.
Right.
So that's why you can't go by something like that, man. You know what I mean? That's subjective. That's not something that that's concrete. So
wasn't they banging on the Christians for claiming to be spiritual Israel, and they doing the same shit? Oh, the spirit beareth witness.
Basically, now I mean, all them camps lean on that because they always say when you be like such as a white boy, well, the spirit bear with it. All of them do it. The eyes you get, all of them do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, when it comes down to it, because you be like, how we know that he ain't come from a Spaniard? And, you know what I'm saying? Just because his daddy black now don't mean the progenitor of the line was the Spaniard. This is without DNA. This is just basic shit. And they be like, well, the spirit. You know what I'm saying? We like, man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
They always say you are who your father is. So that's why DNA shows you your father's line. And now they want to deny that. Now it's about the spirit.
I mean, they don't have no choice. They don't have no choice. They really don't have no choice. You know what I'm
The
saying?
spirit is okay. Yeah, the spirit is okay. Just be humble though. Humble yourself. Stop running around here with that nonsense.
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, but they not gonna stop, man. They like Diddy, man. I thought I told you that the people won't stop. I thought I told you that the people won't stop. they ain't never gonna stop, man. They making too much money selling them
Can't
T-shirts.
stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
It's the remix, baby. It's the remix.
Yeah, they making too much money, man. These boys ain't got to get no job. Shit,
Hey, what's the probability that Tazariak and Katazai get DNA tests?
After this, they ain't never gonna do it.
Hey,
never
but
gonna do it.
if DNA, like they say DNA ain't shit, right? So why not just take it then? It ain't shit. It don't matter anyway. Just take it.
They could easily say, look, man, we all took our DNA test and none of us got the same haplogroup, but we all Israel. We go by the spirit. Like they could literally, you know what? I want money for the idea though.
So spiritual Israel. That's what we're doing now. Spiritual Israel. All 2022 on to 2023. That's gonna be the biggest thing in the BHI movement.
Nah, 2033, bro. This gonna be
You
here for
said
a minute.
2033.
National Israel, I could flow with that. You know, national, a conglomerate of national. You know, we push that. You know, but all that standing on the corner telling people who they is and who they ain't, is you is or is you ain't my baby. All that. Go ahead.
Out there telling people to kiss your boot. Nigga, you told your cousin to kiss your boot, brother. Like,
I have a question. So does that mean the white Jew with E, they now has to kiss the boot of the white Jew with the E marker?
According to them.
Man.
I mean, they the ones out there teaching that madness.
That's crazy.
All right, so we officially gonna have to do a part 2. I don't know if it's tomorrow or whenever you're ready to shoot, where we could do we could walk through the video.
Yeah, definitely tomorrow. We approaching 3 hours. It's 10. I gotta get up at 5, man. So y'all better
I gotta get up at 4, bro.
Bring out what y'all need to bring out right now, man. The panel's open. Going one.
White girls.
Your shoe looking for smoke. You looking for smoke?
Yeah. Hey, man, Muck ain't never clicked that link, man. Muck, you talking all that shit in the chat, man. You ain't never clicked that link. You ain't jump on here.
I like that name though, Muck.
Yeah, Muck Mouth. The brother ain't come on here once.
Well, you know the crazy thing. My bad, you know the crazy thing, though, man. These people still gonna follow him and still gonna give him money while this nigga holding WWE matches and shit. You know, they don't know enough about it. You know, like me, I'm scripture only, but I took it. I mean, I already knew I was an Israelite. You know, everybody that know my story already know what's up.
Man, your DNA came back in haplogroup R. Quit lying.
I know, right? I mean, I'm joining the camps, bro. I'm gonna destroy all Israelites.
Who is Mr. 707? Who is Mr. 707? Who is that dude? Who is Mr. 7? Is that
I don't know what it is.
He said that smoke was too intense.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be disrespectful. Yeah, but he ain't. I don't think he's saying anything disrespectful. He said that smoke too intense. I guess people don't want to come up. That's
he said we twisted his words or something. Like, I don't even know who the hell that is.
He might be arguing with somebody in the chat.
Hey, Isaiah, man, what were you saying? I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's good. You know, I mean, I took it, you know, because I was just hanging around y'all, and I was just like, you know what, it's cool. Like, if I don't come back as a E marker or Yap, you feel me? I would have converted or whatever. You know, I would have still been following the way, whatever they want to call it. You know, I wouldn't have been denying it or whatever. I mean, the truth is the truth. Like, you know, it is what it is. But you gotta look yourself in that mirror and all them lies he be telling, bro.
Hey, yo, 707, you know, tiptoe lightly around my sister, please. All right. Matter of fact, I shouldn't even be saying please. Tiptoe around her properly. I see what's going on now.
Hey, I'm gonna answer this.
What happened?
Muck. You know why I use that term? Because I'm a CIA plant and they pay me well. They give me $60,000 a year. I mean, a month to come at the BHI. And
they gonna be food stamps.
Nah,
They
nigga,
give me
you owe
food
me.
stamps.
Break me off something, man. This is bullshit. You got me over here doing this for free.
Oh, you ain't get
Man.
promoted?
I
You
ain't
ain't
get
get-
no money. Ain't no
What?
CIA.
You ain't get no
hit me
food
up.
stamps? I get food stamps, baby.
The Men in Black didn't show up at my door. They didn't ask me if I needed anything. Like nothing.
Look,
Hey,
man, I
man.
was hired directly by the CIA to take down the BHI.
Hey man, we would be all living good. You know, we wouldn't be working. We'd be having like a 10K a month, like your friend Guerilla Hebrew.
Hey, Sis Moran just said we the YAP division of the CIA. Yeah, we part of them letter boys. FBI, CIA, YAP. We down with that. I get food stamps once a month.
But why? But why
That's
is
how they pay me.
But why is that a joke? But hold on, bro. Why is that a joke when we know that the government has their agents working
That ain't
within
a joke. I was
amongst
being
us?
serious. I'm a government agent.
Well, hold on now. You know why it's a joke? It's a joke because they keep claiming that this is what we are. So instead of fighting with them and arguing with them, we tell them, yeah, all right. Now you got to prove it on top of that. You can say what you want, but now you got to prove
For
it.
the record, okay, bro. For the record, I did not change the subject. You guys were talking about DNA, which I addressed. You were talking about the One West camps. You're still talking about the camps. And you keep mentioning God in Jesus Christ. Now, the brother said he's the follower of the way. When you think about the way, you think about the gospel in this New Testament. So I gave you the interconnection,
Really?
showing you that
Oh, okay. Can you show me that? Can you show me that? So where's the first quoted at? Give me the scripture where the way is first quoted at. Give me that. It's in Psalms, right?
Did I say it was in the scriptures?
It is in the scriptures. Let's go in the Torah right now. You're not gonna beat me in the Torah, Michael. You already know that.
Okay. When
Stop.
people think about the way,
So where's the way? No. What is the way? Where is
there's
it in Psalms?
no. People think about
Quote
the
it
way,
in
they think
Psalms.
about
Quote it
the
in
gospel in
Psalms.
Jesus Christ. So what are you
Quote it in
talking about?
Psalms. Not if you read the
So what are you
Torah.
talking about?
Not if you read the Torah. Do you read the Torah? Yes or no?
When
I
people
have
think
proof.
about
I
the
read the
way,
Torah. I
you
have
say
proof that
as
I
they
read the
call
Torah.
it.
Have
You
you
say
read the
as they
Torah?
call it. Okay, ain't nobody got time to play games with you. You cut me off
No,
in the midst
you
of my
just
speech.
wanna.
When you
Yeah,
talk, do
because
I
you wanna be
talk?
up here and just argue and be contentious,
No, I
bro.
don't
You
want to
not.
argue. I'm not
So
arguing.
show me in the
You're
scriptures.
arguing. You cut me
Where
off
is
in the
it?
midst of my
Where is it in
speech.
Psalms?
I
Have
never
you ever
cut you
read
off. When
Psalms
you talk, I let you
119?
talk.
So what is
So
the
let
way?
me talk.
What is the way? Have
When
you read
you
it in
talk,
Psalms
I don't cut you
119?
off.
Yes or no?
and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
You need to learn your place.
Oh, my
Learn your
place is
place.
above you. The Most High made me above you. I'm
How's
your
your place
Lord. So
above me?
I'm your.
Christ compels you.
All right, let's go
I
before
am
the
your
congregation of
Lord,
Israel
sir.
and before
I
Yah.
am your
Go ahead, let's
Lord.
go. Let's go.
Christ compels you.
I am your Lord, sir. Bow down. You should bow down and kiss my shoes.
Okay, you know you're gonna get
Lowercase
punished for
L.
your raggedy mouth, right?
Lowercase L.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You behind, all right? So for the record, you guys keep talking about God in Christ. Where are you getting that?
Sorry if I mistreated you, but this is shit that happened when you let your wife speak for you.
Many of you were influenced by the
Who
camp,
said
so
God
you
in Christ?
gotta pay homage to One West in the camps. You wouldn't even known about the Israelite
Nah.
movement if it wasn't
What are you
for
talking
their
about?
influence. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they do. When they get a man that's a man, they try to down him. And if you badmouth somebody often enough, you get people adopting what they hear. So you get a negative
So y'all
impression.
cut off my
So
mic.
what the deal is take the exemplars who behave like they're supposed to, and you get the people turned against that by telling lies, mistruths, exaggerations, and so forth, and they no longer listen to that individual, but they listen to the idiots.
Yeah, we not listening to One West idiots anymore. Fuck the BHIs. They all a bunch of swindlers. And their doctrine cannot be substantiated with empirical data. It's just that simple. Anybody want to say any closing statements before we get out of here?
Shout out to them R markers.
All right, man. We out of here, bro. The conclusion of the matter is the brother had haplogroup R1b. It's Western European marker. He's related to Western Europeans. It is what it is. All right. Yeah.
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 Hey, I'm gonna be on Clubhouse for a little bit. I'm going to bed.
Nigga. This some bullshit, nigga.
Hold
We
on
ain't
real
get
quick.
through
We
nothing
not
with that. We
done.
was
We
fucking
not
with
done.
these crazies. Oh.
Hold on. Still live.
Deuce make a slap true. I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Nigga, we ain't playing around. Karate chop, nigga, that's gonna lay him down. I got it from my sensei. A Ku Klux, so I bought me 10Ks. My shooter got me, I made sure his rent paid. A grimy nigga, but he don't wear 10K. He wears a Vinci, he don't even fit J's. A sharpshooter, you should see him switchblade. I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Add me on Twitter, that's gonna get you in the jam. Stop playing with that man. 2 to 3 shells and knock a nigga out his brain. Stop playing with that man. Ever been indicted, I ain't see you in that jam. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Niggas acting like fans. Some shit I never understand. Is you gangster or not? That's for Instagram, you don't hang on the block. It's a hunt Diddy, I don't hang with no stocks. You a brand lover, bitch, you bang with the ops. You like felons, cause I came with a lot. A tough cookie put his brains in a knot. How much I pay for these chains, it's a lot. Stop talking money if you really don't got it. No, I be doing shit these niggas wouldn't understand. Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when I ran through 200 bands? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when they was trying to get a chair? Stop playing with that man. Where was niggas at when Walton wasn't playing fair? Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop it. Nigga, stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Stop playing with that man. Shit, nigga. Yeah, stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man. Nigga already know what the deal is, nigga. Yeah, I should already know by now. Don't play with him. We're not the ones to play with. What is money? Don't make us throw it up in the air and walk away. Put a price on your head on a sticky pad.